Oh man, I just had to come on. I had to come on because I was rocking out because yeah, I'm digging it, man. What is better than some D&D? I am looking forward to it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome GOG. Welcome to episode 116 of Pen and Pixels. D&D with GOG compels you. Storm King's Thunder. I am really excited about today because I have got I have got a big major announcement, by which I mean surprise, a major surprise for both you and the members of the party later today. So you guys are going to get a surprise. It's not just going to be D&D. It's going to be D&D with an extra twist. So we will see what that twist is, but I'll be talking about that in a little bit. Before we get there, though, I do want to thank everyone for being here. I am wearing my Bruce Lee Be Water, My Friend shirt. And so I'd like to encourage all of you to be water. And in the spirit of that, I'm going to drink some of this, because it's water. The folks are all here, and I am very excited. I am looking forward to Storm King's Thunder. This is the stream that we do over here once a month, but it's been literally about a month. Normally, we try to do it a little bit, more towards the middle of the month, but for one thing after another, we weren't able to. But we did get one in a day ahead of time. With a day to spare, we did get this in February, so I'm super excited, and I am looking forward to seeing how the folks handle what is about to come. I want to make sure that everyone checks out. There we go. I want to make sure that everyone, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow GOG. Please make sure to check out GOG because we have a wonderful channel, a wonderful community of people over here with a lot of great streamers. Thanks to 8-Bit for streaming just before me. Excuse me. I was in the process of winning Portal for the first time over on my channel, so that was cool. That was good times. But thank you, 8-Bit, for streaming. As always, a pleasure to have 8-Bit with us and everybody here. So definitely check out GOG. Please sub to the channel. You guys can see some of those awesome emotes that I've already seen in chat, brought to you by our fearless leader, Outstar Walker. Sorry, now just Outstar. Now she's just a one-name star, basically, just Outstar. And I also want to remind everybody, if you haven't done so already, please check through to a lot of the individual streamers and follow and support us over there. A lot of us have our own subsystems and Patreons and things that we do, so please make sure to check that out. I actually just today hit the $450 mark on my Patreon on my channel, and the reason that matters is because it means we are going to be having Arvanaut Idol 3. Now, you may remember that some of your favorite GOG streamers, including Chrono Wolf, including Mega Pieman PhD, including Pyron Jade, 8-Bit, I believe, also submitted something for this, submitted stuff for Arvanaut Idol 3, which is our short story contest over there. So because we hit that level, we will be having a third contest. That's probably not going to happen until April, but it is going to be happening, so definitely keep that, be aware that that is going to happen, because some of your favorite GOG personalities may be contributing to that, which would be good times going forward. But today we have got Dungeons & Dragons Storm King's Thunder as we continue this campaign, which I am very excited about. And with no further ado, I'm going to, as always, unmute myself in Zoom so they can hear that we're almost ready to go. And then I am going to unmute them in Zoom. And then as they are laughing, I'm going to zoop. We're going to jump over to D&D. You know, no, I've been doing this now for several years, streaming, probably 2.5, 3 years of streaming actual Dungeons & Dragons. And I never know when I cut over to the window what the conversation was right before me. Like, I have no idea what the behind the scenes stuff was. They could be talking about cake or about unicorns or about how death metal and unicorns should never combine. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I know. I was waiting for you to say something, Saber. Terry's a bit. I learned about this from Terry Tunes, but yeah, apparently unicorns, undead unicorns, are a thing according to Glory Hammer. Anyway, but it's a pleasure to welcome my wonderfully enthusiastic GOG crew back, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves as we get started here. So as always, I begin with the person right underneath me on your screen, and that is, of course, Pyron Jade. Hello, Pyron. How are you? How is life? And who are you? How have you been? And who are you playing, man?
Who are you and who are you playing?
Who are you?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Hello, my name is Pyron Jade, and I'm going to be Greta Goldenfire tonight. She is a dwarven cleric of Foltos. May his light shine on your way. And she accidentally set somebody on fire last stream again. And she is sorry.
Yes.
It was an accident.
Yes.
And
very common accident with her, but yes.
I don't know why these things keep happening.
That's worrying.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, she's the designated healer of the group, and she's got a lot of work cut out for her there. But she loves the people she's traveling with and generally has some fun. And me, I'm streaming for GOG.com and doing lots of things off stream all day long while I'm awake. And yeah, so you might actually see me again on Saturday with a release stream, belated release stream for Trails of Cold Steel Part 2.
Ooh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I just started Trails in the Sky second chapter with my vocal team, my voice team.
Ooh.
And one of the people was, I don't know if you know this person, but one of the new people that we just added is Bonnie Gordon, who is on Geek and Sundry. She does the Star Trek Shield of Tomorrow. And she was on The Quest, which was an ABC show. And she did the voice of some people in Fire Emblem and stuff like that. So she was perfectly suited to do these kind of characters. So it was fun to have her and the other folks doing that. And I enjoyed Trails in the Sky Part 1. So you were like way ahead of me because you're like, but that's like 4 games later, right? Like Trails in the Sky.
But I have not finished Trails in the Sky yet. But Trails of Cold Steel is like standalone.
Oh, it is.
And
okay.
it's such a lot of fun, Arvin, because they send you back to school, and I really needed that in my life. I didn't know,
Nice.
but I did.
Strangely, school doesn't have the same appeal for me. Something about I feel like I see it quite a bit.
Well, I'm still a student, but it's not the same. It's just not the same.
It's different. It's true. Okay, cool. Well, I am looking forward to checking it out. And Xseed really does an amazing job localizing these because there's a lot of text in this, like a lot of dialogue.
Not only that, and bringing them DRM free to GOG. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Exceed. Wonderful.
DRM, we're all about it. So good stuff. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to catching that. Always a pleasure to have Pyron with us. Moving right along down the line, we have the inimitable and irrepressible Darksaber 2K. Hello, Darksaber. How are you, sir? How's life? And who are you playing, sir?
I'm doing good. I've just been playing Witcher 3 earlier today. Finished off Hearts of Stone last night, which was
nice.
really good. First time through it. Really enjoyed that. And I will be playing Celsig Mauer, Arfling Rogue, and occasional projectile.
Yes, we'll talk a little bit about that projectile-ism that you were a part of this last session. That was a lot of fun. And the person who might have been on the other end of that projectile creation, his character anyway, is the person you see right below the inimitable Darksaber. And that, of course, is our good friend Screaming Joypad, also known as Mike. Hello, Mike. Pleasure to have Mike back with us. Mike, sir, good to see you. It's been too long. How are you? And who will you be playing, sir, other than a bow from which you will shoot Celsig the arrow? But other than that, who are you playing?
Today I'll be mostly playing a half-orc man cannon, or halfling cannon, I should say. Hello everyone, my name's Screaming Joypad. I am playing Urash, the half-orc barbarian. I'd like to firstly thank everyone for joining us and also welcome you to literally the greatest show on Twitch today. One of literally the greatest shows on Twitch today. The other one being the other D&D streams I watch.
Yes, that's exactly true. And the common element might be one Screaming Joypad. Maybe I'm just saying that's possible.
Every show I watch that I'm in, I think is the best.
You think is the best. But it's always a pleasure to have these intrepid adventures with me, and I'm looking forward to that. So let's get a little bit of music going here, and then we will quickly recap because it has been a month since our last time, of course. Let's see. Let me pull up some awesome music brought to us by not Battle Music. No, let's get us some. How about some maybe Minstrel Guild?
He says with an upward inflection.
No, I love Kim McLeod, but no. How about some mountain travel music?
Expecting Dandelion to start telling half truths.
That's more like it. Yeah. There you go. Nice. I like the reference. Nice. Cool. All right. There we've got that. Good. Lovely. So here's what we've got, folks. The party of adventurers, which is now level 5, I should say. And incidentally, when did you folks last level? Was it a couple of sessions ago, I believe?
Ooh, it
was a while ago, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. So,
am I level 5?
Yes, and I believe we've had this discussion the last session where you also said, wait, are we level 5? Okay.
I am level 5.
All right, good. I do remember that in that spell.
It did happen.
It did happen. So these intrepid adventurers have been gradually unwinding a mystery that is existing within Faerun and specifically the Sword Coast. And that is, thank you for the follow, CFN Colhedro de Trigo. I don't know whether I even came close to pronouncing that right, but welcome to GOG.com. We have been, hello Genly, we have been traveling through Faerun and the Sword Coast trying to discover what is happening with the giants. Specifically, why are the giants becoming aggressive? Why are they beginning to attack settled places like Bryn Shander, places like Tribor, villages like Goldenfields? What is it that has caused them to leave their usual aggressive if you walk into their territory, but not if you stay stay away and actively seek out people to attack. And to solve this mystery, the party has gradually over time been drawn into a various series of quests. Mike put together a wonderful video so far, so I'm not going to go through all of that because there is a lot of material to go through from before this. But I will say that in the last couple of sessions, the party left Bryn Shander, where they had spent much of the early portion of the adventure, and set out for a couple of purposes. Number one, there was a ball, a masked ball of great significance, at which it was said they would be able to find a Lord Roaringhorn. Why is that important, you ask? Because Lord Roaringhorn is the one who may have been given, or may have found someone who would have given him the Ring of Winter. The Ring of Winter, which is something which the giants that attacked Bryn Shander were demanding loudly. And apparently the Ring of Winter is a powerful artifact, and so essentially they're trying to find them. One of the people they found in Bryn Shander said his father had gone to Waterdeep to find Lord Roaringhorn, so that seemed like the best lead. There was a rather amusing session some time ago where Urash was being fitted for a prom, outfit, essentially, like being fitted for a dance outfit, and he and the rest of the party, but it was particularly funny because it was a half-orc. But in any case, he was sort of outfitted and ready to go, and with their preparations ready, they set out. But they didn't set out before they were approached by two characters who talked to Urash and Selsig in a tavern about tracking down a bandit known only as the Weevil. Supposedly this Weevil was wanted up and down the Sword Coast for various crimes, and there could be a serious bounty they could retrieve by getting the Weevil. So the party had essentially a second quest. They also had a quest to find out what was going on with the giants that were preparing for war nearby Bryn Shander, and so again, you can see some of these in previous sessions. But the party made its way with some confrontations with flying vulture creatures and barbarians and things like that. But over time, they managed to make their way down to right about here on the map, which is Xantharl's Keep, where they discovered a dwarf working in the stables whose name was Larg. Didn't really think too much of that. They ended up going in and befriending the innkeeper. Urash, in particular, was befriending this innkeeper, if you know what I mean. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. When they went there and had befriended them, the keep fell under attack by a frost giant and by a set of basically bugbears, some orcs and goblins as well, that were attacking this keep. While they were there trying to ward off the attack which was coming from the north, another group of bugbears came from the east, attacked and captured Larg. And so last session, Greta, Selsig, and Urash tried to track down the people who had taken away Larg, because as they were told by none other than, I believe it was Enoch and Enoch, I believe it was, they were the Scottish dwarves, they basically pointed at him and said, "Oh, it be the Weevil." And so Larg apparently was actually the Weevil in disguise. Well, the party managed to track down the fleeing bugbears and kill them. It was not easy at first. Greta had some difficulty with the horse riding part of things. Selsig had some difficulty with the flying through the air without being aided by Urash sort of thing. But through the power of all of them working together, they did manage to bring down the bugbears and kill them and recapture Larg. Bringing back Larg to the keep, they ended up having a conversation with the leader of the keep and talked to him about what should be done. The leader of the keep brought in Larg / the Weevil for interrogation, and at the very end of our last session, as they came down to brass tacks and said, "Do you have the Ring of Winter?" basically, "Who does number 2 work for?" When they had this confrontation, Larg basically asked them, he laughed at the thought that he would have the Ring of Winter, or that he would know who would, and he said, "Did the bandits tell you that you could find me?" They said, "What do you mean bandits?" He said, "The 2 people that approached you in Bryn Shander," he said, "those are bandits who are trying to cut my throat, Larg's throat, for their own purposes, and now," he said dramatically, "they are coming for me." And so as we begin our adventure, Urash, Selsig, and Greta have just heard this revelation from Larg, and now they have to decide what to do. And I will tell you only that at the very end of that, the leader of the keep, whose name I am frantically trying to track down, had told them that, sort of leaning back in his chair, that he felt it was reasonable. He had wanted to keep Larg, but now after hearing about this situation, the bandits coming for them, after hearing the conversation that happened, said that it would be okay if the party wished to take Larg basically in charge and in tow. And so the party was given essentially a decision. That is, Mirabar was the city that had actually requested for Larg to be returned to them, and yet the two bandits, well, at least that's what Larg calls them, had asked that these characters find them, the two of them, basically return back up to Bryn Shander or something similar, and be able to give them this person, and they would bring him to justice. So the party has that decision to make. They could also just say the hell with all of this noise and head on out, because they are trying to get to Waterdeep. It's a little bit time limited, but that's where we stand. And with that slightly longer recap, but we had a lot to cover, I now put it back in the party's hands. So Greta, Selsig, Urash, you are now sitting in the room with the leader of the keep, whose name I will immediately find, and deciding what it is that you want to do. What would you like to do?
Wait. Again, what did the Weevil tell us about the Ring of Winter?
He said that he laughed at he said he had no idea where it was, and he laughed at the idea that he would even be considered to have it. Narbeck, that's his name. Sorry about that. Narbeck Horn is the leader of the keep. My bad.
That's right, and he'd cast doubt on the true identity of the two people who tasked him with tracking him down as well.
Correct. Yep.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. That was like the dun-dun-dun
Just because you reminded me.
What was we had another lead on the Ring of Winter, and I think that was the ball, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been working our way down towards Waterdeep for that.
That's the ball, right. That's the thing I was talking about with Waterdeep. That's where Lord Roaringhorn is, and that's sort of the thing that got you started there in the first place. So yes.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I've been stood in this dramatic pose for about a month or so. So I can't remember.
The camera just kept zooming in on you very slowly, like as you held the pose.
I can't remember what our conversation was about. Yeah, I don't know what we decided last time.
We didn't really.
You
I
hadn't.
think we left it it's like on that bombshell.
The Ring of Winter disappeared when it was stolen from the father of the guy we met in Renchander.
Well, when the father took the ring somewhere, but then it's unclear as to where that guy went. What the son said was that he had gone to Waterdeep because he went to see Lord Roaringhorn. But after that, you have no idea what happened. As far as that goes, he could have been ambushed and killed halfway to Waterdeep. I mean, you don't know. But that was the last lead you had, is that he was going to Waterdeep and he was going to meet up with Lord Roaringhorn, who was having this very epically impressive ball. So.
Okay, I'm looking at my two comments here. Do we think that the Weevil is actually telling the truth? Does he not know where the Ring of Winter is? What was your impression?
Can I check? Is there some sort of roll I can make? Maybe perception to see if I can roll.
To see if what now?
If I can evaluate if he's telling us truth.
Oh, insight. That is what you're looking for.
Insight.
I thought you were asking me to make a roll to remember what happened a month ago, and I'm like, there
ain't no buff.
Yeah.
I'll roll insight just to see if I can. 16.
Yeah, very clearly, Larg is the type, or the Weevil, is the type of character who does not like to go out of his way to be, how do I put this, forthcoming. But to the degree that he will say anything at all, he seems to be on the level. Certainly his humor at the idea that he would have the Ring of Winter seemed genuine to you. Now, beyond that, you don't know how far, if you could trust him as far as you could throw him, or as far as Urash could throw him, which is a whole different matter. But definitely it seems clear that his humor, as far as you can tell, at the thought that he would have it, seems genuine. The Ring of Winter, of course, would be worth an absolute fortune, even if you didn't keep it for yourself. So maybe that's would be on his mind.
So how about you tell us everything you do know about the Ring of Winter? Gone. Connected man like yourself as God's.
There's currently a lot of money riding on people who believe you do have it. So maybe pushing that focus away from yourself to places you're not might be in your best interests.
And he says, I don't know a whole lot more than any of the rest of you could know. I could tell you that it said the ring makes the powers of all other magic that are within
you
10
are
feet of it. Oh my
the
god, why
sprinkler.
is there sound? The ring. Sorry, we just had Firefox blow up at me for a second. Sorry.
Okay.
I was just like going along. All of a sudden, like some loud commercial started playing. I'm like, what? Sorry. But I know that I know for a fact that the ring supposedly makes all other magical items around it more powerful. That's why everyone wants it, you see. It's not so much what it can do, it's what it does to everything else. Although it's also said that the ring can create cold, ice and storm and hails of great description. Supposedly, some legends say that the last ice age here in Faerun was brought about by someone misusing the Ring of Winter. But that's probably just a daft story. But you know, dearie, what I think is the most impressive part of the ring? He kind of leans forward with a leer on his face.
Towards Urash?
No, towards you.
Okay, it was just because Urash was talking to him and Celtics. I was like,
No,
Okay.
he leans towards you.
okay. He leers at me. I just try to keep a straight face.
He says, "It's worth a fortune of gold, lass. Gold that I could use to convince anyone, even some, how do I put this, who might be more inclined to the more holy places, to perhaps try their luck with a bandit or two." And he leers again unpleasantly.
I just stare at him like with the thought in my mind, like, oh my god, this guy so does not know me at all, and I just recently set him on fire, and he's still trying.
I like someone with a fiery temper, huh?
Oh, well, you picked the right one.
I just say, I see, and like inch backwards a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
You
Okay.
You can, as you're sort of doing that, you can see Narbeck sort of shift in his chair and say, "Listen, you say more like that to this lady and you'll be speaking at her from the floor. I make myself understood?" And the Weevil says, "Aye, lad, I didn't mean any harm." And he sort of leans back, feeling pretty smug and sure of himself, apparently, or at least seeming that way. This certainly doesn't act like someone who's got something on him that he's hiding or concealing. That's certainly not the way he's acting. Although maybe he's had a lifetime of practice, but...
Yeah, he might have. He just might have. Okay, so I look at my companion, just shrug with the shoulders, like there's nothing else to do here, I guess. And Narbeck, if it's fine with you, I think we shall take our leave.
And Narbeck nods. He says, "Absolutely. Before you go, though." And he yells out for the guard. A couple of stout dwarven guards enter, and he says, "Take this one off to the brig." Not the brig, the jail. That would be on a boat. Don't do that. Take this one off to the jail until they're ready to leave
I
with
don't
him.
care.
And we make our decision as to what we're going to do with him. And if you happen to accidentally have him trip into the cell, it'd be fine with me. And so Larg kind of, shakes his head. "Pathetic, Yar. Pathetic." And then the guards kind of drag him out.
Just before they do,
Sure.
can I ask the Weevil a question?
I guess, sure. You can stop him if you want.
So I'll stop him. Can you just tell me what you know about the two people who told us that you were in possession of the Ring of Winter?
What?
You seem to know them, or know of them. Whose names temporarily escape me.
Right, and he says, he says,
Government
I
agent.
know. What? Say again?
The government agents.
He says, "Government agents." Is that what they're calling themselves these days? In fact, perhaps you might know them a little bit better by a sign. I'd ask you to look into, for example, winged dragons. Perhaps that might give you a clue. And
I see.
if you run into Soralisa and Neramos, make sure you tell them hi. Ask Neramos whether or not he's gotten anything to replace his arm yet. And as he's leaving, he winks at you, Greta, and then he says, "I decided I'd borrow it from him for a while." And then he departs with the guards. So, now, if you guys wish to make a history check, you can try to remember why that winged dragon is important.
I
I
think I know
I
without
do-
a check.
I also,
Alrighty.
I will still I will still do a
That-
history check, but I remember. as well. Well, look at this. Who's this? But yeah.
Yeah, the IRS, exactly. A-Bit.
Do you want to make sure? Yeah, Zentrum, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the Black
Pretty
Network.
sure
That is
fine.
correct. The Zentrum, and yeah, even since you already knew it already, yeah, Zentrum. If he's correct, it means that they're working for the Zentrum, and you guys have already had run-ins with those people before.
We
Yeah, they were
probably
really
don't want
weird.
them having the ring. Winged dragon.
It certainly would explain why they were so interested in you bringing him to them, if what he's saying is true. Yay, new subscriber. Thank you, Ian Smet, or actually maybe a resub. Thank you, Ian Smet, for the sub. I appreciate it. Welcome to GOG. So yes, that is the situation. If it is the Zentrum, the money makes sense.
Speaking of money, I turn to the guy and go, so, about our reward.
And he says, I think I ought to be able to provide you something with that. And he hands each of you a small, like underneath his desk, he reaches and he hands each of you a small little pouch. A pouch that, for those of you who are watching the stream, looks like this, sort of shakes pleasantly.
Music to my ears.
Yep, it shakes pleasantly. There are coins, and he says, that right there is 150 gold for each of you, as my thanks for helping ward off the attack upon us. He said, moreover, and he pushes across 3 small vials. He says, moreover, I think these might be of some use to you. And he says, these here are healing potions. You might be able to use those during the course of fighting.
I try to not look offended.
Right, he said, and they actually say on there, like, better than Faltus. Like, no, just kidding. Just joking. They don't do that.
Branded.
They don't do that. What's up, Bethesda?
I nudge Greta and go, there's finger in that.
So yes, welcome in everybody, by the way. So yeah, so he hands you those things, and he says, and I'll give you one other little piece of advice, if I may. If you are looking for the Ring of Winter, I should warn you, that artifact, by all accounts, is cursed. I don't care whether it actually does anything to you. All I know is whoever's had it has come to a bad end. It attracts all the wrong kind of people. He says, moreover, and he kind of leans forward, I don't frankly want this larg around here longer than I can trust it. Longer I can redo that sentence. I don't want that one around here longer than we need to. If it's true that the Zentrum are involved in this, we've already taken some damage in that last attack. I'm running a keep here, not a fortress. I'd be obliged to you if you'd be willing to perhaps at least bring him far enough south to get him to Tribor. I can send a raven ahead, perhaps I can have someone take charge of him there. But I can't do it here, I can't spare the men. And he might escape, he knows the ins and outs of this place too well after having been here. Besides, you might be able to get the reward if you go there yourselves.
Well, I'll tell you something.
We need to.
We are going through Tribal. As far as I'm aware, that's where we were going.
That is where you were headed, yes.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this for a moment, maybe in another room or something, guys? Please.
We can back off into a corner or something.
He's like, please, I have some paperwork to fill out anyway. And so he...
Do we really want to travel with that guy? We need to, like, keep an eye on him. Also at night and everything.
Can we have a horse? Tie him up, put him on the back of the horse.
We can't do that. That's not how you...
Can you not? Can we not? This might
to...
sound horrible. Can we not just keep him asleep through either magical or physical force?
Just repeatedly knock him out, like, every night.
It's not...
Yep.
No.
That's how I was raised now is 5.
You have to treat... You have to treat prisoners properly. And he's not gonna behave.
Since when?
Since
Okay,
always.
you Southerners are just...
That's in times of war.
I'm pretty sure that outside of war, you also have to be a good person.
I think outside of war, you have to treat them better.
I'm just scratching my head at this point. You mean like...
Also, did we also get that 3 healing potion each, or in total?
You got 1 healing potion each.
Just bog standard vanilla healing potion.
Yes.
Should we just pile them on the rush?
Yes. That's not bad, though. 150 gold and a healing potion each for a relatively small keep is not too bad.
Yeah.
That's a good haul.
So do we want to take him to Tribor? Do you really want to do that, and why?
Well, we are going to Tribor. Well, at least we're heading that direction.
We are heading in that direction. I know it's going to cause us more problems because it's basically painting a target on our back. But would you rather paint a target on our back or on the back of a keep that's got a lot of defenseless people in it and also has just been attacked? It takes the focus off them. If we move fast enough, we can stash them in tribal and they can do what they want with them.
Okay, we do that.
Yeah.
But we try to treat him properly, okay?
Yeah, no, absolutely. If he dies in combat, he dies in combat.
He will betray his first chance he gets.
This is true. We do need to tie him up. I don't trust him as far as I could.
Yeah, we need to tie him up.
As far as
I agree
somebody
with that.
smaller than me could comfortably throw him.
Yeah.
I have this image that you're going to repeatedly ask for initiative checks from this point forward. Like, why? No reason. Oh man. Okay.
We don't even know for sure how far you did throw Celsic though, so it's not like we could compare.
It was faster than a speeding horse.
I'm saying at least 1,000 feet. Like easily.
It was quite a throw, as I recall.
And I'm a halfling, so that was more like 2,000 halfling feet.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. That's like a halfling league right there.
Oh man. Okay. So,
so I think we've decided we're going to take him with us.
All right, sounds good. In that case, you depart. It is, if you may remember, this had started. This actually had originally happened in the morning that this attack happened. So it's actually still midday. So it's plenty of daylight left. If you want to get on the road, so to speak.
Okay, no. Then I would. Guys, maybe we should just really rest for a night. We just had a really tough fight with it, and I'm a bit banged up here. Also, maybe Urash would like to say goodbye to his lady properly, so I think we should stay for a night.
That sounds like a good idea.
We play my stuff as well.
All right. That seems perfect.
Will we get in trouble if you put Barry White on the stream?
My love, my everything. Oh man. Okay. So you guys are going to
get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I am going to go off and get no sleep.
Meanwhile, of course, and Celsic is going to go over. I didn't mention this, but it was at the keep, I believe, where we lost the finger. I believe we had the finger incident. So I forgot about that. So there's that as well.
Still need to find the healing temple.
Exactly. So you guys head off then to the inn to actually bed down and get some sleep for all of you.
Please.
And I believe, actually, when I last checked, Greta, I had you at 33 out of 33 hit points and Celsig 32 out of 33. Is that accurate? Is that what you guys have?
32 out of 33, yes.
Okay. And Urash, I have you at 28 out of 57.
This is true.
Okay.
I'm still pumped and ready to go.
Ready to go, yes.
Yeah. Bring on the dragons.
Okay. So, let me just make sure. Yes. I wanted to remember the name of the person in question. So, you all head off to the inn, and of course, sort of cleaning up, looking ruefully at the. You may remember that there was a fight in the stables, and there was kind of a big mess in the stables that was left behind. Larg actually killed the Weevil killed a couple of his would-be kidnappers. And so he created this situation where there was some mess to clean up. And so you find our Statska, who is the, of course, half-ogre, coming, working on the floor as you come back. He says, "Hi, love. It's a pleasure to see you back here. I wondered a little bit if even that hard skull of yours would protect you, but I should have known better." And she kind of sweeps, says, "Look at this. This is what happens when you trust the small folk. Next time, it's only the big ones, eh?" And she kind of winks at you.
Well, yeah, they are very quick and nimble, I'll give them that. Do you need a hand with anything?
He says, "Oh, well, I wouldn't mind someone actually helping muck out and sweep up a little bit." And you can see that there's a lot of, a couple of, the buckets are smashed and there's pieces of wood on the ground that she's trying to sweep up and, stuff like that. The hay is obviously all over the place. She's trying to put it back in the various stables. And so...
yeah, come on, I'll give you a hand. The sooner we're done, the sooner we can put all our 4 hands to better use.
And she kind of smiles and says, "Well," and she hands you the broom and sort of folds her arms and says, "Let's see how well you can do then at this menial labor."
Okay.
Come on, Celsic, we'll just leave them to it.
And she, okay, so you guys head off to the inn.
The area.
As Urash sweeps the way that only a half-orc barbarian can sweep.
With multiple head injuries.
Right, he he dramatically cleaves the straw, but he gets done pretty impressively.
There's definitely no more hay, but it is all outside the stable now.
And when he's done, she says, All right, you've engaged in a high-quality kind of labor there. Now it's time to put your labor to better use. And she kind of winks, and then she turns and leaves the stable. You can follow her if you wish.
Yes, absolutely.
And she walks into the inn. She heads up the stairs, and she says, "Now I must warn you, this isn't just I'm not just any kind of half-ogre innkeeper who kisses and tells. I hope that I can only really go ahead with this if I feel like there's something real between us." And she's like, "There's only one way that I can tell that for sure." And so she rears back and punches you dead in the face.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
All right, so let's actually see what damage is done here.
Roll for initiative.
No, we're not rolling for initiative.
Next fight.
If she knocks him out because he has only 20 hit points left, I'm so gonna laugh about this.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a half ogre, isn't she?
Urash's head comes
She
running
is.
forward.
This can happen.
I could die in this.
Death by Steve's move.
No, you don't die. You do, however, take 10 points of damage as you sort of
That's fine.
stumble back. You sort of stumble back this way, but you're still standing. Now, the question is, she looks at you to see what your reaction will be, Urash.
I'm going to headbutt her.
Now, you guys just hear this fight up, so she kind of staggers back, and she says, and she kind of looks at you and nods, and she says,
Obviously, I'm going to smile.
Right, of course.
Smiling acknowledgement. Obviously, blood pouring down my nose.
Right, and there's a slight trickle of blood coming out of her mouth, and she says, I knew that the broom would only be the beginning. And then she grabs your hand,
What
fade
are they
to
gonna
black.
do with the broom? I don't want to know.
We fade to black. All I'll say is that
Cue Barry White music.
yes, Barry White music. There is, at some point, Celsig and Greta, you wake up during the course of the night to hear something like, "It's not that I want to know," but you hear something like that. You hear some,
roll.
yeah, exactly. You hear that also. Well, right, you hear that music, but over it is the sound of what sounds like people punching each other.
Just like
yeah.
TNA style wrestling, just
Yes.
going on upstairs, like body slams, the whole works.
Urash, you wake up the next day having recovered 20 hit points.
Nice.
You come out, I should say, by the way, as Celsig and Greta are down in the main room, you come out battered and bruised with a big smile on your face. Feeling comfortable, just sort of walk down the stairs. Your leg is a little sore.
I'm hungry.
Based
Oh, I'm
on
gonna
Dax and
And you have not seen I keep wanting to say Arstatska, and that's not it. You have not seen Arzastra. Glory to Arzastra. You have not
Glory
seen
to Azastra, yes, please.
You have not seen Arzastra. Well, there was some glory last night. You have not seen Arzastra so far, but you have seen on your table, and Greta and Celsig, you guys have normal-sized meals, but you've actually seen this massive tray, which looks to be like 2/3 the size of the table, which is just covered with like 3 cooked quail and just like quail eggs. Like, so there's like quail, and then there's also omelets, which presumably are quail eggs made from there's just like lots of food. And so Urash, when you get down there, you just see this feast laid out in front of you.
Yep, I'm going to start diving straight in, obviously talking to my comrades, and I'm going to turn to Greta and say, I could do with some advice, if that's okay.
I just stare at him for a moment like, yeah,
I snicker
sure.
By the way, there's some tables that are like cracked down here that you don't think were cracked after the original fight. Like there's a chair that's kind of like one leg is off. It's kind of
I'm just
over the
like,
wall.
yeah, I'm just like, Celsig, don't sit there. Definitely don't sit there. Sit the other side. That's what. Don't sit on that bit.
It like rocks a little bit.
What? So, of course. Yeah,
And
what can I do for you?
This might be a deeper conversation, but how do you know if you're in love?
Whoa.
It's
me?
fine. It's fine. We can talk about it after breakfast. Don't worry about it. I'll just carry on eating.
Yeah. After breakfast seems a good time for talk like that. Yeah, sure. I look at Celsig like big eyes, like, what gonna do? Like, okay.
I'm just like playing completely oblivious, just like, oh, this brain is fascinating.
This hay is magnificent. I mean, this stonework on the floor is just
Yeah. How
bloody
did you
lovely.
get the stones so square?
I never noticed how my finger bends the other way. I'm just going to study it for a while.
Anyway.
Oh man. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Snake, do you think love can bloom on the battlefield? Shut up, Otacon. Oh man. So you guys have a very pleasant Urash. This is one of the better meals you've ever had.
Nice.
It's delicious. Like just it's exactly the kind of refreshment and restoration of energy that you need.
Is it on par with the breakfast nook?
Well, see, the breakfast nook is kind of its own thing, but here you are carried adrift on, like, you keep hearing, like, Billy Ocean. You're like, on the wings of love, only the two of us. You know that, and actually, one
I
thing
feel
that...
a strange swelling in my heart that's not caused by brutal force.
Exactly, and Arzastra actually told you at one point during your pillow talk, which was the moment where she was bashing you in the face with the bed. At one point, she actually said something to the effect of that she admitted she kind of liked cheap love ballads, and so she said, if you ever find any love ballads and you happen to think of one for me, love, well, I'd appreciate it. It'd make me feel all warm inside.
Yeah, next time he's going to throw a bard at her.
Yep. Gonna beat her to death with a bard. Sing!
So it is, of course, other than that, though, it is the morning, and you can be setting on your way if you so wish once your meals are over. The inn seems to be pretty quiet, actually, and as I said, you haven't even seen Arzastra, but Arzastra had told you that might be a little while before you saw her, but that she wouldn't forget you. And actually, she also gave you something to remember you by. I should have mentioned this, Selsig and Greta, but hanging around Urash's neck, there is now a necklace, and attached to the necklace is an unidentified finger. And she said, this is...
I look at Celtic for a moment.
It's not
and then
Celtics. No, it's not. She just said, this is just so you can... Just something to remember me by. One of my conquests, my love. So you're wearing this, like, finger necklace thing.
So she's giving him the finger.
Cool. Yeah.
How
I'm happy
romantic.
with this. I'm fine. I'm happy with this. In return, I will have offered her. I've got a number of mammoth teeth jewelry, like
Sure.
necklace,
Like you
and,
do. Mhm.
like bangles.
Mammoth
yeah,
teeth?
yeah, mammoth teeth. My totem spirit is a mammoth because I'm from the
then why would you kill it?
because we hunt them. We revere them and we hunt them. How else do you think I got furs, and how else do you think we fed?
But isn't your totem animal something holy to you?
Yes. So we kill them only when absolutely necessary, and we don't let any of it go to waste. Hence the bones. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Yeah, I'll offer her one of the pieces of jewelry that are made out of mammoth teeth.
All right. And she said that she would treasure it always. She also told you not to be away too long. When you're done messing around with all the little folk, you know where to find me. Imagine what it would be like, my love. You, me, our own inn, and a lot of punches in the face.
I can't wait.
Okay, are you guys heading out?
Yes.
Yeah, I think make sure you secure the weevil.
Yes, you. When you actually go out, all of your horses have been freshly stabled and groomed. They all look to be in
Because
good
it's
shape.
stolen.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, you remember you got all this.
Last night. He's gone.
Yeah, right, exactly. He's large. Yeah, he's out. No, he was being kept very close guard. So when he comes out, you notice that he's actually already tied up, and he's also gagged, basically. And he kind of shakes his head as he sees you. He kind of looks a little bit like, does a double take at you, Arash, seeing all these new bruises and stuff, and then sees your big smile as you're like humming some love ballad to yourself, and then he kind of just doesn't know what to make of any of that. So if you wish, you can put him up on a horse and sort of tie him up there. You have 3 horses now each. Each. 9 horses. No, you have 3 total horses is what I meant. 1 horse each. And you could place him on one of them if you so wish, or not. But if you walk with him, it'll be slower, just so you know. Like, if he's walking, it'll be slower.
Yes, he can go on a horse.
You can drag him.
I'm
I'm the lead.
presuming he can fit on a horse with one of us.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
There might be a little too much weight if you were there with him, Urash. But definitely,
great.
like, with Selsig or with Greta, he could, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, not with me.
Well, right. Your horse, all your horses seem to be in much better mood today. Things seem much more relaxed for them. And they get up on the. You all get up on your horses. Narbeck comes out as just about to leave and holds up a hand, sort of in farewell, and says, "Thank you again for your help. We'll remember you here at Xantharos Keep, and our gates are open to you if ever you come back this way. And as for you, you piece of filth," and he looks at Larg, who's kind of trussed up and can't make much of a response. He says, "It's about time you got what's coming to you. Enjoy your justice, sir." And he turns away and then nods at all of you and returns back into the keep, already barking orders. You notice that most of Narbeck's time involves, when he's not like in private with you, involves barking orders at everybody. Like he's perpetually ordering people to do different things. And the keep looks to be actually much cleaner actually today, even after yesterday's attack. But his group seems to be pretty efficient, you would say. And so you folks set off on the way. It is in the morning, obviously, because you waited the whole day. So it was in the morning of the next day that you set out. You now have only about 2 weeks or so, a couple of weeks roughly speaking, to reach Waterdeep. But you still should be in time to do that with a couple of days to spare if you set off, the way that you intend to. So you begin to make your way down, and about, I would say, right there, roughly speaking, I want you all to make perception checks. So let me zoom in there, and if you folks could move your figures, your characters down there, that would be cool. Right about here? Yeah, right about midway through between Longsaddle and Tribor.
I have perceived it is morning.
It is indeed the morning, yes. Greta with a 12. Urash is like,
I have perceived I am on a horse.
Yes, you're perceived you're on a horse. You're still like in a love-struck haze.
The Weevil is distracting us all. I'm sure it's his fault.
That's exactly what it is. No, like Urash is actually
Weevil-
sitting there
does the
composing.
Weevil
He's
get
like,
home,
my
actually?
love is like a red, red fist. No, my love is like a kick in the face. No, like love, heads are dead, decapitated heads are blue. No, but he's thinking about that. But Greta, you actually do see something, and that is in the distance, you see a small shape on the horizon in the air, which seems to be sailing around. Yes, up in the sky.
But
It's
it's a
sailing
small
around. Well, it's small because it's far away, but as you look, it gets closer and closer. As it gets closer, you can see that it's actually copper-colored. And as it gets even closer, you can say something if you wish. You can wait for it to get a little bit closer. Pretty soon, your comrades will see it anyway if it keeps coming this way.
Does it look like an animal or mechanical?
Does not look mechanical, although it's moving too fluidly for it to be mechanical. Unlikely.
Guys, I might be getting paranoid for big birds, but look there, something's in the air.
Okay.
Urash is like, yes,
I'm
love is in
pointing,
the air.
I'm
No.
pointing like this.
Yes.
Okay.
I will look in that direction.
Go
Yes.
ahead and make another perception check, both you guys. You can do it this time at +2 for me.
Perception at plus
It's not much better.
16.
Yeah, Urash, you don't see it, but Celsig, you do. It is indeed a copper-colored shape that's getting larger as it comes, and pretty soon, you think you actually see what looks like not just one shape, but on its back, several others. Almost certainly you're looking at some winged creature. Say again?
We might want to hide.
Now,
guys.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing about this. It looks to be copper. If you want, you guys can make let's call it a nature check. A nature check to decide if you know what a copper thing would be. Urash, you're just like,
Grass is green.
my love is right. Yeah, exactly. Like a red.
Apparently, the only copper things in the sky I know of are weather vanes.
I come from it. I live inside usually.
You have no idea. You're just like, you're looking around, Greta. You're just like, what is, But Celsig, you actually think you know. These are dragons, as you know. There are many different kinds of them, but you know that not all dragons are evil. And in fact, for the most part, what are called chromatic dragons, red dragons, black dragons, blue dragons, green dragons, these are very dangerous and usually unfriendly. But the metallic dragons, the brass, the gold, the silver, and the copper, usually are friendly in your experience. They tend to be friendly, in fact, good dragons that are actively taking a role in trying to help people out. You also know that they are generally the sworn enemies of giants, at least the evil ones. So you're thinking about this as this thing actually seems to stop circling lazily and now seems to be making a beeline for all of you. It's now growing larger much quicker.
Okay, as I don't know these things about dragons, I'm like, we should hide.
I think we'll be all right.
Why?
I saw it in a book in a place I was having a look around in. I was minding it for the owner. He just didn't know it at the time.
What did you see? What?
It's, I think it's a copper dragon. They don't like giants very
What
much.
are you two talking about?
There's a
It's like the wings are like beating, and now you see it, Urash. It is definitely, you see a copper dragon flying directly at you.
Well, I don't know any better. I'll draw my axe.
They're all sort of
We should-
multicolored, and some are good and some are bad. I
I mean,
think the
is this a
shiny
good
ones
one or is
were
this a
good.
bad one?
I think the shiny ones were good, but I'm not sure.
Okay, let's try to be friendly because it's close anyway. Just put that away, Urash.
Just smile and nod.
Yeah.
And don't try not to look like a sheep.
So the dragon comes and then comes really close to all of you, then basically buzzes you, like right over your heads. And you hear this sort of strangled scream behind you, and you look behind and you see Larg, like, eyes wide on the horse. And then
Oh,
the dragon
baby.
floats around and then settles down onto the ground and stands above you. Now, this is not clearly an old ancient dragon, but it's still a dragon. Like, it's a,
Yeah.
but it looks probably like a reasonably young dragon. And the dragon looks down at all of you and says, "Well, where can we find such wonderful figures on this fine day? 3 matched characters, and they have a bundle with them." And he looks at Larg, who's like straining at his bonds. And he says, "I'm pleased to meet all of you, but I wonder what you're doing here in my domain. Perhaps that's a little overdramatic. It's the place where I eat everything that isn't the good type." And he sort of laughs, and then he lowers his head to within several inches of Larg. And the horses, now interestingly, the horses are not as freaked out as you might have expected them to be, but they are definitely still a little like shying away. And so he puts his head, like his enormous head, which is as large, of course, as the horse, and puts it right close to Larg, and he says, "Are you not a good type?" And Larg is like,
Hi. Dragon?
and he leans his head back. "Hello, but the name is Kalismana. You couldn't pronounce the dragon version of it, I think."
That could very well be true in my case. Hello, Kalismana. My name is Greta Goldenfire. I'm a cleric of Foltus, and we are taking this bundle to Tribor to be put on trial.
"Ah, what has he done? Has he offended one of your easily offended justices? I've seen those before. Or has he engaged in some, well, 5-fingered discount work, I believe you call it? Thieves are such an interesting thing to me. Of course, if anyone steals from my hoard, the results would not be positive. But I'm sure none of you would do any of that, would you?" And he kind of looks right at you, Selsig. He has this uncomfortable way of looking at you as you speak, almost as if he's referring to you, but then smiling like he's not, and baring like 2 rows of enormous teeth.
I would never do something like that.
"I'm sure you wouldn't. So, you are a dwarf cleric, and what of these 2? What of you, little one?" And he looks at you, Selsig.
I'm a ranger.
And
I look at Celsius. What?
he looks you up and down, and he like lifts an eyebrow. He says, "Really? I was not aware that they made rangers in such portable sizes these days." And he kind
Hey!
of looks up and down.
Designed to go down animal hole.
He's very portable. You should see me chuck him.
"I see. Perhaps you've been able to track down some of the creatures around here. It is a pleasure to meet one of the rangers. I have heard so much about your kind." He kind of turns away. He says, "And what of you? Oh, my not quite as small, but still smaller one. I see that you are traveling with this company. They've accepted you. unusual for dwarves and halflings and half-orcs to travel together in these suspicious times.
I have. I found my traveling tribe.
And he says, I am pleased to hear it. So who are you? A wizard, I assume not. Perhaps a cleric? I doubt that either. I'm going to guess you, and he thinks about it. You seem to have fought before for your supper, if I'm not mistaken. Are you one of the fighters, perhaps?
The wisdom of the metallic dragons is astounding. The realms of the north have not been kind to my upbringing, so yes, I had to fight for my supper a few times.
He says, don't feel lonely, my friend. After your first 700 kills, it begins to matter less and less to you. And then he goes, ha ha ha, I'm kidding, of course, or am I? And then he lowers his head right to Larg again. And Larg is he says, the truth is, of course, that when I saw you, I had to come explore for myself and find out who was traveling through my land. And what should I find but this bundle, as you call it? I think others might have a different term for him. Perhaps something that rhymes with evil. Am I right? And he looks down at the Weevil. And the Weevil is Weevil is still you know.
I'm so shooting an accusing glance at the Weevil, yeah, this is also your fault now.
And he says,
possible. But what would you know of the Weevil? It's a name we've heard of on our travels.
He says, I have heard many things about this one, because every human town apparently is interested in finding him. If they had simply sent someone to one of the dragons, we could have solved this problem for them, but you little people want to solve everything yourselves. So I kept my distance. But yes, I think you'll find that, for example, that pleasantly named town of Tribor is looking for this one. You should have some good success with him. But now that I think of it, and he kind of looks you all up and down as if appraising you for the first time, you look like a stout party that could solve a bit of a problem that I've been having, and I wondered if you'd be willing to do me a favor. Unless, of course, it's any trouble. And he looks again at Larg. Every time he does this, Larg looks more and more freaked out because the dragon keeps putting his head almost nudging him as he's doing this.
I turn to Log. What's that smell? Is that you?
It's possible it's him.
Yeah, it's more than possible. It's entirely likely. That depends on the job. What did you have in mind?
Well, you see, this distance, and he sort of jerks his head, he says, that way about, perhaps an hour or two into the hills as you ride. For me, a matter of a few seconds. But for those of you stuck on the ground, a couple of hours. There is an old tower. It's a tower in which I have spent some of my time. There's a very pleasant little perch up at the top of it, you see. I enjoy sitting on it and looking at my domain. Although my domain is as yet but small and untended, but that will change soon enough. Once I've taken care of a few more 100 bandits. And he kind of grins again down at the Weevil. He says, anyway, this tower now seems to be occupied. There are these strange sounds coming from it, this odd whining and crying and singing and carrying on from some great something or other. My guess is that it's being occupied by something rather large, certainly larger than, well, yourself, relatively speaking, of course, as he kind of shifts his wing, which is 3 times your size, Urash. And he says, no, it's larger than that. It might be one of those giants, those things which are always getting in the way. There seem to be a lot of them about these days. And I think one of them might have gone in there, if I'm not mistaken. I can't tend to it myself because the thing won't leave, and I don't want to destroy my perch for obvious reasons. Do you know how difficult it is to find a perch that isn't on the top of a mountain, and then you're always having people come to you, oh, please, Kalismana, give us all your great wisdom, Kalismana. Oh, please, can you tell us my walk of life, Kalismana? Where should I buy my next cell phone, Kalismana? Never mind, that's a joke that you'll understand 1,000 years from now, and you know why you don't understand it now? Because you're not an immortal, or so more or less like one. Like me. Here I am living for hundreds of years, and yet still only considered young in the years of my kind. Finally, I find a legitimate place to perch and rest myself after a long hunt, and now it's taken over. And so I hoped that perhaps you might be interested in helping out. I believe I could make it worth your while. For example, I happen to know that there might be some treasure within that tower. Those baubles and beads and, other things, rings, bracelets, things like that I know all of you find so interesting. And it shouldn't take you more than a few hours out of your way. You don't have to kill the thing. Just tell him to get out of my tower and find someplace else to do its crying.
Even if you can't get into the tower due to your size, can't you just shout in and tell it to get out?
Well, I've done that, my dear, but the only response has been more yelling and blubbering. If I want to do any more, I'll have to tear the tower down, and then I lose my perch, and then it'll be another couple of 100 years before one of you gets enough, intelligence to be able to build a new one. No offense meant, of course, but sometimes you take a long time to build just a simple perch for a dragon.
I'm
Brett,
not
I'm
interested
more good at removing dragon perches.
What?
Don't mention that. Don't mention
No.
no.
I have to say I'm not interested in riches that much, but I mean, maybe we could do you this favor, and one day you'll do us a favor in return.
I think that's a reasonable arrangement, as long as it doesn't involve anything terrible like, fighting the Queen of Dragons, Tiamat, or something. I had to help another party with that, you see, and that was difficult in its own way.
And I think we can come to an agreement there. I look at my party. Maybe they can also see the reason I like having a favor with a dragon.
Yeah.
Hey, I like this dragon. He seems like he's on our page, so...
Is it a he?
Yeah, it is a he.
Oh, okay.
I don't dare look.
I don't.
Yep, it is a he. Well, yes, you can tell for other reasons.
Well then.
You see, when when two dragons love each other very much. Anyway, so he nods. He says, "Wonderful, wonderful. If I may just give you, I'll be happy to let you know where it is. It's straight through there." And he holds out an enormous wing over all three of your horses, and points basically directly to the west. And marks it more. I'm going to mark it for you. More or less shows you where it is on the map. Just between those two hills there, and you'll be able to find it. And he says, "But I must warn you of one thing."
Oh no.
And he says, "I have seen someone else around there. The person is very, I wouldn't say sneaky, but seems to be going out of their way to not be viewed, or at least not often. It's a very small creature. Well, not perhaps as small as the two of you," and sort of points to Greta and Celsig, "but maybe a little bit larger, maybe not quite as big as you," and points at you, Urash, "and seems to be spending its time sort of wandering around this tower. I thought of going down there and chatting with it, but then I realized that one person wasn't going to be likely to deal with this problem on whatever it is, his or her own. And so when I saw all of you, I thought perhaps I could bring you involved as well. Perhaps you can join forces if you see this person. And if they're evil, perhaps you can fight them and eliminate them as a real threat." And he smiles and then says, "I'll be watching from overhead just in case, by the way."
Good.
Would you be able to keep an eye on our payday here while we do this favour for you?
And
No.
not eat him.
Yes, not eating him would be very, very much
Or,
a good favour.
even better, if you could put him somewhere safe where he's not going to be harmed or eaten.
No, he's our responsibility. We can just shove him up to the dragon.
It's okay,
We're going to just trust him not to ride off on our horse.
I instinctively trust this dragon for various reasons. I'm okay. This dragon's cool. Okay, this dragon's okay.
He did eat us. That's a plus in my book.
Yes.
I look at the dragon, see how the dragon reacts.
The dragon is sort of, seems, it's kind of hard to read a dragon's facial expressions, but it seems sort of bemused, might be the best way to put it. Just kind of is like looking at you, like sort of with its head slightly tilted, waiting for you to finish. It seems to find you all intriguing.
Well, we're gonna
we're
gonna take him to the tower with us at least, and maybe the dragon can perch on the tower and keep an eye on things. Would you do that, Kalis Manda?
He says, I can't put him on top of the tower because, again, we have that whole problem with the giant right now, but I could perhaps leave him. I could, and he thinks about it and then says, Yes, if you were to perhaps put this one on my back, I could certainly keep him while flying around. And yes, I promise not to eat him. What do you take me for, a goat?
And not drop him.
Oh, and he sort of thinks about it. Well, I'll attempt not to do any barrel rolls, but no promises. And Larg is kind of like,
No.
you know, like that type of thing.
We're doing this weirdest game of Panzer Dragoons going on in my head.
It's fine, Talisman. We'll just take him with us. We can't just no. Let's go.
It's fine. If you wish to give him to me, I promise you will come to no harm.
Yes.
Really,
yes,
you clerics must have a better sense of humor. I would never drop this creature from a great height by accident and forget about him. And then he grins at Larg and says, in all seriousness, he will come to no harm while he is with me, though he deserves much worse.
That's why we are keen to get him to his justice unharmed.
alive and unspoiled.
With
And
all
he-
parts attached.
He nods. He says, very well. So if you guys wish to do so, he will allow you to lash Larg onto his back, which is, and as you're doing this, like Larg is just like frantically, like no eyes bugging out. And finally, Larg just kind of slumps over like he's fainted. Then Kalismana says, all right, straight to the west is your path now. Good luck and thank you. We'll speak after the deed is done. And in the meantime, please make sure that you use care. These areas, although I try to keep them as clear as possible, can be dangerous for the little folk. As for me, it's time to take my burden up top and see what things look like from the air. Have you ever heard of that one? His head looks over his shoulder at the one at Larg, who is just groggily coming to. The song that goes, I can show you the world, and he lifts up, I can show you that. Larg is like, as he's sort of lifting
I
up.
can show you Faerun.
Exactly. Looking at Neverwinter. Anyway, he takes off, and you guys are left to head to the west if you wish.
I like that guy. I like him.
I'm turning my pony towards the west. Also, chat people, I have not named my pony yet, and I'm open for suggestions.
Bill.
So, and I look at my companions. What is it with the titans, the giants, like all these immortal creatures? They're like obsessed with our size. They're all like, "Oh, you little one! Oh, you tiny one!" What
At least
is
they haven't had
that?
to take us as a pet.
That's true.
It's really.
Okay.
I think
I
it's
think we're
strange.
cute.
I'm as we're kind of trotting along, I'm curious as to what this giant's been up to get in this tower and why it's wailing and screaming. I'm wondering if it's injured and whether or not this giant's actually going to be hostile towards us.
I mean, wailing and screaming are definitely two things the giants we've encountered so far have most notably not been doing.
Well, we're gonna be careful. Maybe somebody can sneak inside. We'll have to see.
Maybe they could. I mean, if only we had someone who had the relevant skill set. I mean, unfortunately, what we have is a barbarian, a cleric, and a ranger.
Yeah.
Maybe you could send your spirit animal in there.
Hey, if you need someone to cut the finger off at them,
Why did you say you're a ranger?
I panicked. It didn't look like he liked me.
He liked you. I mean, he didn't eat the weaver. What did you think he was gonna do to you?
It was a dragon. I didn't want to find out.
Oh man.
He was friendly, but he was still a dragon.
I think he was. He seems a little loopy to me, didn't he? And like,
I think they're all like that, personally.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Rush. You were gonna
I've
say.
heard tales of proper mental dragons in the past, up north. How far away is this keep?
So it's about a couple hours to the west, and while you've been chatting and riding, you've gone about an hour or so. These hills, I should point out, that you are in are called... Hold on a second as I pull up the map for just a moment. There we go. These hills are called the Star Metal Hills, and they're called that because there are a lot of meteors and things that have fallen on here over the years, leading to sometimes some rich finds. And so there's sometimes some pretty impressive stuff that you can find, although it was also a little bit like out of character for a minute, or out of game for a minute, the Gold Rush, you know, where everybody went in and then took everything that they could find. But still, there seems to be some lingering sense of magic about the place, even if you travel through it. despite Kalismana's warning, the presence of an even young dragon seems to have kept out a lot of the worst creatures, because you don't sort of see a lot until about maybe 20 to 25 minutes away. You do see something odd. First of all, coming over the rise of a hill, you do see a tower in the distance, again, probably about a 20-minute ride. But actually, just a couple of minutes from you, probably riding, you see a lone figure that is currently what looks like, you're a little bit far away, but seems to be just standing, kind of observing it on the top of a small little hillock. So there's the tower, which is like, as I say, a distance, and then there's this creature, humanoid size, which is standing on top of this hillock. Seems to be kind of lightish skinned, maybe even silverish, glinting in the sun, but you can't tell 100% sure from the distance where you are. Just seems to be standing there, and definitely is living, and definitely is humanoid of some kind.
What's the marching order at the moment, guys?
I would say I would be out front so that I can be sneaky.
Okay.
I mean, it's no good trying to sneak in behind two people going.
Also, you're sneaking
Fair
on a
point.
horse. That is
Fair
like
point.
difficult, isn't it?
Well, I would think I'd leave the horse. Like we're not galloping.
I'm just wondering who would make the
Okay,
first
but-
perception check to see if they could find out any details about
I
this
would
figure.
say me because I can be
But this
closer.
But this can't be the figure the dragon was talking about, because the dragon talked about a stealthy person.
Well, just a small person. Smaller than a dragon could be
Yeah, but-
an ogre.
But sneaking around, this one is like standing there gleaming. I'm gonna stare at it.
Says-
I'm gonna do it.
I was going to say we have a thief on a horse. We can't really,
No,
that's
I'm a
not-
ranger, mate. Don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot you're a ranger.
I should be tell by my lack of bone.
Yeah.
Greta, it looks to you as if this person or whatever it is that's sort of facing away from you has its back to you. But as you look and sort of squint, you think the silver might be coming off of scales. It might be some kind of like lizard or dragon-like creature, maybe even a dragon-born type creature.
Like we had one of those traveling with us before, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We did.
But not a silver one.
Wasn't it Justice?
Yes, but
It
Justice
was.
was not silver, I don't
Justice?
think, although I might be wrong.
Justice?
No, it does not look like Justice, though.
Just
Oh no!
scream, Dan!
Yeah, exactly.
Don't actually,
That
don't
would be
actually-
him standing on top of the hill, but with his sword above him, being like, "I will destroy you, tower!" Like he's definitely.
Does this figure have a chair with them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No chair. That's
No
funny.
chair. Okay.
No chair. No
Okay.
chair.
Well, I'm happy to just keep going.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to sneak up, if we want to approach, if one of us wants to
I would
approach.
Standing on a hill, we can't
Closer.
sneak up to it.
You can't sneak up to it.
Neither can
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You're a ranger.
I have many skills.
I'm never letting you. in this
Lying
town.
isn't one of them.
We're not gonna let this go
Rangering
ever.
isn't one of them.
I could be a ranger if I wanted to be. You
And I
don't know
could
me.
And I could be a wizard. An arm wrestling wizard. All right, I'm
Okay,
assuming we're just carrying on.
I mean, is the creature with the back to us? Can we see that, or is
Yes.
the creature staring at us?
No.
It's with the back to us,
Staring at the tower.
staring at the tower. Well, then sneak up to it, Ranger.
Do you want to
God,
try
Ranger-
to reach to
Ranger boy.
you want to try to stealth up
just-
to it, Selsing?
I will try and stealth up to it to determine if it's armed. And
Okay.
on, I think is
And
the
we
first
just
thing.
trudge towards the tower, just so in case we did like a distraction. Maybe the creature sees us and then
Okay.
does not see Selsig.
That's a possibility.
So
Okay. So,
yeah, I will-
Selsig, you're stealthing up. Go ahead. Okay.
I'm stomping along on my wonderful non-named pony.
All right.
Russian
So,
Rangers.
Selsig, go ahead and make your stealth roll for me, please.
Come on, baby. Ooh, 20.
All right. You come pretty close to it, and let me just see if I know who this humanoid individual might be. Let's take a look. Just a moment here.
The beard stroke of intrigue.
Beard stroke of intrigue. Well, who might this be?
Hello,
Um,
hello.
You see you see someone appearing and I'm going to show you exactly.
We have a
where it
fourth
is.
person.
You see someone standing
I sense
on.
shenanigans.
You see someone standing upon this hill. And it is, in fact, a dragonborn you can now see, Selsig. And does not yet the character
It's a muted dragonborn.
doesn't seem to have noticed. Doesn't seem to have noticed yet. Does not seem to have noticed you yet. Not quite yet, maybe.
I was muted, sorry.
Does not quite seem to have noticed you quite yet. What do you want to do, Selsig? This one is indeed silver. Now that you're closer, you can see. And actually, why don't you? I will introduce you formally in just a minute, Chai. But why don't you describe who you actually are, the character, not just like the look of the character. Obviously, they don't know names or anything.
Pull its tail.
It's the eternal thieves' problems. I snuck up here. Now what the hell am I going to do?
And
God.
now I'm gonna sneak back.
We did that once. It didn't go so well.
All right. Well, so she is a rather slight dragonborn. Very fair, very, very light skin or scales, as you could say. Long black hair that's very disheveled. She looks a bit of a mess, actually, and a little bit confused staring at that tower, unsure what to do or how to proceed. And you can tell she's not just staring at the tower, but her gaze seems to kind of wander. And then it looks like she realizes that she's wandering. She goes back to the tower and starts thinking again. And yeah, and she hasn't noticed you guys, apparently.
All right. So, Selsig, you can decide what you want to do from there. By the way, chat, I'm working on Windows. I'll have it all back fixed in just a minute. I told the players there was a surprise, and I couldn't capture it ahead of time.
I think I'll lay in wait while the two noisy people make their way very openly towards the area.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, if I just pop out of the grass and go hi, I might just get.
It's gonna burn you down. No, don't do that.
Hello.
How are you? Yeah.
Greta's attention. Urash has so much head damage. I'm pretty sure he thinks I'm a potato.
So actually,
Potato?
Chai's
Talking
character,
stick.
because you haven't come up with a name yet. I mean, you have a name, but I haven't revealed it yet. So you are looking, and you actually see a dwarf and a half-orc on horseback that are gradually, slowly trotting towards the tower that you've been observing. You only see two in front of you.
I panic, go, and then try to get into the bushes.
Okay, so you're standing on a hill.
I think he just tried to run away.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run away.
So Selsig, all of a sudden you see this one just start bolting like the other direction, but as she turns, she literally runs right into you. You're like, what? And she like bangs into you. And now you're sort of on your back, and she's staring down at you for a minute as she's gonna run away.
Hi?
Then I ran away again.
I look
Do we hear the squeaking?
Yeah, you hear the second squeak for sure. And you
Okay,
see this dragonborn running down the hill, and Selsig looking confused.
Okay, I'm gonna gallop up there.
Okay.
Gallopy.
I am just going to carry on my normal canter. If this creature is terrified by a tiny ranger, they're going to just freak out by the sight of a battle-scarred half-orc.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna stop where Selsig is and see if he's all right.
Okay. Well, Selsig, you can answer that for yourself to see if you are.
Did you get the number of that donkey cart?
Are you okay? What happened? Why did it squeak? Did you like?
It ran into me. I said hi. I believe the sound was "Eh," and then it ran away.
Can we just still see it running?
Yeah, she's not running super fast, but I don't believe, she can tell me, but she's just kind of running in a general jog almost, sort of in a serpentine pattern away from all of you. In the middle of these hills, by the way, in the middle of these hills that have no bushes, no cover, like just like running up and down, so.
Yeah.
We can still see you.
Are you okay?
You might not want to go that way.
There's a dragon.
I panic and then just like hole up on the ground. I just fall flat on the ground and go. "Ah."
I know Greta would go, she's as bad at sneaking as you.
Yeah, I'm not
is
moving
it-
anymore.
Isn't it a creature like Justice, this one?
Yeah,
It does look like one.
Is it?
I didn't know they came in other colours. That's
I don't know.
stupid of me to think that. I don't
Even
know.
know
It has hair. Justice did not
Collect
have
the
hair.
whole set.
To be fair, with the way we throw fire around, I'm surprised any of us have hair.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Okay, I'm gonna dismount.
It looks afraid, doesn't it?
It doesn't
Is
look very hidden.
Okay, let's.
It's not the bravest thing.
I get down from my pony and I like walk up to it, try to not look scary in any way.
Okay.
Hi there. Do you understand me?
Oh,
Hi.
you seem nice. Hi! You're not scary at all. I thought that you were gonna eat me, like all those other people.
People usually eat you.
I look at Urush. I look hungry.
I'll just
No.
stand over here.
I don't want to eat you. Are you lost?
Oh, I was trying to get into that tower, but it sounds scary. I don't think I can get in. There's something spooky in there. And so I was looking at it, trying to figure out how to get in, but I don't know how. And then you guys scared me because I thought that you were gonna light me on fire or something. And I didn't know you were there, and I didn't like it. I don't talk to people very often.
Why
Clearly
did
our
you want to
reputation
get
is
into that
defeated.
tower?
I'm supposed to. My boss told me to.
You work for the dragon?
Oh, I don't work for Sparkly. He's just nice.
Sparkly.
Yeah.
There's a nickname that's sticking.
Who
What up,
are you
Sparkle?
working for?
I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you. My boss is a really nice guy, but I don't think I'm allowed to tell you.
Okay, that's okay. What do you want in that tower?
So the tower has these things that I'm not allowed to tell you about, and the guy that I'm not allowed to tell you about totally wants those things, so I need to get in. That's all.
You're ringing.
I'm not.
Just-
Someone's ringing.
someone is
There's a
deciding to
strange-
break into this awesomeness with real life. Sorry, apologies. Proceed.
Who's casting minor illusion?
You hear this coming from, the heavens, right? Like the ringing, like
Yeah.
ring. Like, sorry.
Zephyros' tower's
So-
fax machine.
We are going into the tower. Maybe we could just get the things you want and take them out here to you.
No, they don't move. But if we could go into the tower together, that'd be super cool. Cause I can't touch the things that I need. Don't move. They're attached to the tower. We need the tower.
What?
We need to steal the tower. I'm in.
No, we need the whole tower.
Is the
I
tower?
just say, "Well, Sigma, pleased to meet you."
But the tower needs to stay intact.
Yeah.
Is-
Yeah.
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 What do you mean when you say you need the tower?
Well, see, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you. He wasn't super clear about whether I'm on a secret mission or not. He just told me to go do it.
Then it's not a secret mission.
It's not a secret mission?
No.
I bet
Definitely
you're
not.
right.
If they
Definitely.
forget to tell you it's a secret, it's not a secret. That's got me out of trouble a lot of times.
Okay, if it's not a secret, and you clearly know because you're a nice lady, then
Yeah.
so I am here. I was sent by. Can't tell anybody, because now it's a secret.
Yeah.
You can't tell anybody. But I was sent by the Harpers, and the Harpers say that there are some pretty cool circles in there that can put you somewhere else, and we need the circles.
Oh, that does not.
Sounds valuable.
Well,
What?
this just got a whole lot more complicated.
Sounds safe.
No.
So you're going to use the circles to be somewhere else?
Yeah, if you stand in them, then you go somewhere else. And there are a bunch of them.
Okay. Okay, if you use the circles, don't use them while we're in it because we also have a place to be, and that could like sidetrack us.
Where do you need to go? Where do you need to go?
We need to go to Waterdeep. It's
One
not
of
a
those
secret.
circles goes to there. Totally.
Yeah.
I've just glazed over. This is all way over my head.
Um,
I just wait for someone to mention valuable sounding stuff again, so I'm just like,
yeah. But it's just
My
like
head hurts so
I'm
much.
we will go on horseback because we also still have to take somebody who is not here right now. So don't use the circles while we're there. But you can come in with us and not activate the circles until we're out again. Okay?
Okay.
what do
Yeah.
you know about the Harpers?
I have no clue.
You guys actually don't even have.
The history check.
Yes, you could make a history check, although I can just give you the basics. You know that the Harpers are a good aligned organization with an enormous reputation actually in the Forgotten Realms. They tend to be a secret society that tries to work somewhat from the shadows to work against the cause of evil in various places. They've been involved against, at various times, evil dragons. They've been involved against demons. They boast some of the most powerful wizards and clerics and fighters in the realm, some of whom... Say again?
And Warforged.
And Warforged. Sometimes there's a very famous Warforged actually who worked with the Harpers, correct? So there were there's a lot of history behind the Harpers. If it's true that this person is from the Harpers, it seems a reasonable thing. The thing about the Harpers is that they seem to have knowledge and information everywhere. Also,
Yeah.
they generally don't have anyone in their ranks that they don't think is worth it. Though again, who knows? Maybe there could be a first time.
Is everyone looking at me?
I think they're looking at me.
Anyway.
Sorry, you
Are
broke
you,
up.
like-
You broke up, Aaron. Second.
Oh wait.
Oh my god, I thought that was me.
Are you armed in any way?
Yeah, I am. I'm okay, don't worry. I got it, but I can't take care of the big guy all by myself. So I'm glad you came by. What are you called?
Hi, I'm Greta.
Hi, I'm River. What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, I guess Sparkles is up. Is he still up there? Is he flying?
Yes,
He's,
You do
big-
actually see on the very edge of the horizon a copper color and shape.
He was singing. He seemed fine.
He's nice.
Okay, yeah. I look a little bit helpless at my two companions.
By the way, if Sparkles asks, I'm a ranger. Don't ask.
Are you a ranger? I
No.
like things that are far away.
You what?
Okay, let's go. She's in.
You like Rita feels a little bit helpless about this.
I'm Urash. I'm the one who throws himself into danger,
And me sometimes.
and you into danger as well.
Are
Actually,
you
don't stand.
Urash as well? Are you both Urash? That's cool.
It's probably best not to stand near me if we get into a fight. Just saying.
Okay, I
Yeah.
won't.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you like
Um,
flowers?
Yes. No. What? We just. Can we just? It's getting late. We should get into the tower.
Okay, let's go. Oh wait, no, let's not go. There's something real big in there, and it smells. We shouldn't go through the front door. Probably.
Why not?
What do you know about it?
Just that it's big and that it smells.
Okay. We will try to talk it out of the tower if possible.
What?
Can you do that?
I am
We
not
don't-
okay with this
Wait,
plan.
whoa. Greta has gone off the book.
What were you plan? Look, I mean, there's the other way of like having the tower explode because these things happen, but I think the dragon will not be happy. So-
Like, my
I was gonna
plan,
do what I always
personally,
Sneak
was
up
Yeah.
and have no idea what to do next.
that. Yep, that was him. That was
That
definitely
worked.
him. My plan was to go in all guns blazing and potentially kill myself. I found no problem with this.
No. Okay. Let's move towards the tower and maybe somebody can sneak in to have a look what's going on.
Someone. If only we had someone with the right ranger qualifications.
Okay, let's move.
So let me pause
Okay.
for just a minute and formally introduce as the fourth player of the GOG Stream Team D&D group, Tasty Chai, who of course is well known to GOG streamers. Thank you, Chai. Chai and I had been talking a little bit about this, and actually it came together faster than I expected because I had played, as some of you will remember last week, with Chai when we were playing Tomb of Horrors, and I thought she did a great job, and she really talked about how much she enjoyed it. And I'm like, yeah, when a spot opens up in one of my campaigns, I'll definitely have to keep you in mind. And then literally yesterday, I'm like, well, dumbass, you have a spot open that you've been trying to fill for roughly 6 months. You could try to fill that one. And so that seemed to fit perfectly. And so Chai is going to be joining us. She will be one of the group. I had a feeling that no one would mind. I had a feeling that this was
I
going
am
to work
so
out
damn
well.
happy about this.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Fantastic.
Welcome.
So fantastic.
And if I
Yes.
may, this is the second time I've been able to bring people in as a surprise that they weren't expecting, except this time. Last time it was Mike coming in unexpectedly to the other campaign, and now Chai has come in. So Chai, welcome. Chai is playing River, the Dragonborn. You don't know yet, but you'll find out soon. And yeah, so welcome. Thank you for joining us, Chai. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Oh, no problem. I'm already having a ton of fun, so it's gonna be great.
It's going to be a good time. So welcome in, Chai. It's fun stuff. And you turned her into a snake. Yes, Pi. Indeed you did. Indeed you did. So I'm very excited. It's very cool to have Chai on board. All right. So
And for those of you in chat who don't know Chai is like the newest member to the GOG.com stream team.
Yep.
And she has several streams per week, if I remember correctly, and you should totally watch her and follow her channel.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't gonna do that, but thank you.
yes, this is very true. She's been playing Vampire the Masquerade, for example, and other such games. And on her own channel, she was playing Minecraft, this like incredible Minecraft server the other day, which is where I got this idea. So literally last night, I'm like, so I'd like to invite you to be part of this campaign. Can you be ready tomorrow? And I'm like, this is like super short notice. And she's like, yeah, great. And I'm like, outstanding, because clearly my preparation. But anyway, I did have an idea, though, that I was going to put into place, and so we managed to do it. So good, lovely. It's wonderful to have you on board. I think everyone will be excited to have a full group. Side note,
Awesome.
it'll be nice not to have to balance for 3. That'll be nice also. So that'll be good. All right.
Now, aren't you?
So back in we go. Back in we go. So you folks are now staring down at this tower. I'm going to try to get a token. I couldn't do any of this because I would have given the game away. So now I'm going to try to find a token for River the Dragonborn as time goes in. Also, because I have a character called The River in my Adventures in Middle-earth campaign, you're not allowed to call yourself The or anything like that. Like, if you end up with, like, River Dance or River Dragon or something like that, like a 2-name thing, that'll be helpful at some point. Just letting you know, so people don't
That's
get
totally
confused.
fine.
Like, Terry Toons was like, her name is River, because Terry plays in that campaign. So, anyway.
Oh, okay.
So cool. Yes, so she is a Dragonborn. She's a Silver Dragonborn, and now all of you know as much as, well, not quite as much as I do, but some more of what you do. So back to the party. What do you guys want to do? This tower is about 20 minutes away, and you very faintly. One last thing I want to say. You very faintly hear this sound of. It sounds like some kind of. It sounds like a whining somehow or something, but it seems to be coming from the tower. It's very quiet from this distance.
Hey, let's get closer. I'm like,
So, River, if you say we shouldn't go in through the front door, do you know a different way?
Oh, you're muted.
Mute.
Oh, am I muted?
Yeah,
Not
but now. But-
Now you're
Okay.
fine.
Okay. No, I don't. No. I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out how, and then the clouds are really pretty. So what were we talking about?
Okay, so you stay in the back, maybe.
We should check that.
Yeah.
Do you think she's been hit on the head as much as you, Arash?
No, not nearly. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
So
She has way more scars if she's been hit on the head as much as me.
now that
So-
you've had a chance to sort of look a little bit more closely, now that you've sort of met each other, you can see that the tower, which as I said is about 20 minutes away, looks to be crumbling. Part of its conical roof and outer shell have fallen inwards, but there is a piece of the roof which looks to be fairly sturdy, and you're guessing that it's that Kalismana, quote, perches on when he wants to. But the rest of the roof of the tower has left kind of a gaping hole, and you can even actually see, now that you're closer, that there is a big gap, sort of a gouge almost in the top of the wall. This tower clearly has some age on it.
Okay. Getting closer, and I'm trying to listen if I can hear something, like sounds of weeping or whatever it was.
I would like to scout round the tower.
Okay. Okay, that means you're going to have to get up right up next to it. That's cool. I just want to make sure that you're cool with that.
Sneakily.
You're like, sort of. Okay. Let me put in... Sorry.
Yeah, I think we send the ranger in first.
Okay, I just put in the full one. Sorry, Chai. I just put the full one into Zoom. That'll bring you right to the thing. Or should bring you right to the place. Okay. Also, when you come in, just do me a favor and mute your, in Roll20 only, your voice and all that stuff, because Zoom is handling that. So if you're getting an echo or something, if not, then you don't have to worry about it. But just let you know.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to be stealthing up to the tower. What are the other three of you doing while Selsig is walking up to the tower?
I'm just trying to like listen and look and see if I can hear anything, see anything.
Okay.
And also putting on my shield and everything.
Yes, sort of equipping, as it were. All right. Well, let's get rid of this very cool but somewhat quiet music, and let's add something a little bit more. I'm looking at all the epic battle music, but no, I'm not going to do epic of the battle music yet.
Every time you scroll through the epic battle music, it always makes me somewhat nervous.
I was like, maybe. Let's see.
You scroll past it, it's like, oh, let's choose character death instead. That'll be more appropriate.
That would be much more appropriate. Actually, though, what I want to find is, oh shoot, what's the name of the awesome? Oh, I know what it is. Willow. Yeah, there we go. One of my favorites, which I actually use in my other campaign. There we go. Willow in the Light by Kevin MacLeod, who actually one of my players knows personally. This is a guy who does probably you've heard his music without realizing it, because he's written 2,000 pieces of royalty-free music, which is available on YouTube and stuff like that under Incompetech. So it's really, really cool stuff. Okay, so here we go. So on the ground floor, Selsig, as you walked up, you did the 20. Okay, yeah. So you very quietly, and River, you're really impressed actually with like how quietly he is. Like you watch him, and he just very silently moves forward. And when you look over to sort of, it's like, wow, look at this. Like your companions are kind of like, whatever. Like they're not really paying that close attention. But he looks dramatic, and as he comes up to it. Selsig, you can see that there's a large boulder blocking the tower's ground floor entrance, and there is a horrible noise that is coming from within. And actually, Greta, since you said you were listening for it, you can now hear this too as you get a little closer. A deep, guttural dirge pouring from the lips of something big and awful. Oh, my head. Now, I need to know what languages all of you speak.
Common and half.
Another mud bath.
Common, Elvish, Dwarfish, and Gnomish.
Okay.
Common, Sylvan, and Draconic.
Okay. Common, Sylvan,
and
Draconic.
Orcish.
Sorry, say again.
Common and Orcish.
Okay. Was there somebody who didn't respond yet, or did I get everybody?
I'm just double checking. I'm pretty sure it's just common and halfling.
Just common and halfling. Okay. So then you don't really hear it, what the words are. Instead, you just hear "Hands divided, fall in love." It sounds like a mixture of either something being horrifically killed or something alternately singing and then sobbing.
I look at Urarash. It sounds like opera.
Who's Oprah?
No, like Did I mispronounce any word again or what?
And you get a car, and you get a car. No, it's different.
And you get a crit, and you get a crit, and you get a crit.
That's taken the Wrinkle of Time tour a little bit more than I expected Oprah to be doing.
Opera.
Opera.
Opera. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
You don't know. You know battle songs, certainly, Raj.
Yeah. I don't know. Opera.
It's like theoretical.
I'm sure it's a lovely place.
Okay.
Can you bake? Is it food? Can you eat it?
It's kind of singing.
Hers of love, why is
I've killed things making less
I'm having horrible flashbacks of last night.
I don't even want to know.
It was pretty much that, but with a lot of sounds of fighting, but otherwise it's very similar.
God, opera sounds horrible.
Yeah, it does.
I never want to enjoy this. These civilized people are strange.
This is one thing where I totally agree on. Opera is strange.
Well, okay.
Okay, let's wait for Celsic, but this does not sound like some evil things are going on in there.
I'll have a scout around, see if there's any easily accessible holes or windows I might be able to stick my head through.
Just while he's doing that, when you get a second, can you come back to me?
I can. Also, I'm going to be putting up in just a second, and I have now done so. I have put up a token for you just at the moment. Oh,
Okay.
wait, I don't really want you to... Why is that nameplate that large? Oh, okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah, so it looks like you're like, River! Like, okay, anyway, I don't know why it's that large, but anyway. Maybe I'll take that out. You're the only Dragonborn in the party, so I guess it's not going to be difficult.
I'm pretty sure I'll know which one's me.
Yeah, let me skip that. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Okay, there you go. So now you've got your own character, and it should be controllable by you, I believe. Okay, yeah. So it is a silver Dragonborn, in case you folks are curious. And I believe that she already described herself, so you'll be able to see more of that. I'm just gonna pop open the. Sorry, let me just add one thing in Discord so I can make sure that everyone's on the same page in case I need to speak to them secretly away from chat. I mean, that's not what I meant.
Keep secrets.
You're kidding.
I was the secret.
Hmm?
You were a secret.
You were definitely.
You're an excellent secret.
Yeah. Why am I not able? Oh, I was trying to add you to our conversation, Chai. I'm like, why can't I add Chai to our conversation with Chai? Why can't I do that?
Well, that would be why. Yeah.
That would be why. Now you're part of the group on Discord. There we go. Sorry about that.
Yay!
Okay, there we go. Right. So now you guys wanted to see what was sort of around the outside of the tower. So there is this sort of singing, and Greta, you said you wanted to sneak around the outside, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I said I wanted to wait for Celsic.
Okay, so Celsic is moving around the outside of the tower to do this.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so
He's the ranger after all.
Celsic, make a stealth check for me, please, if you will. Also, the other three of you, please, make perception checks for me if you can.
Come on, baby. 11.
What?
Okay. Let's see. So,
Oof, wow, good roll.
all right, and you got perceptions, and then Chai, for right now, yeah, you'll just be. Eventually, we'll get you hooked up with the official thing and everything, but for right now, just the D20 plus, plus your wisdom bonus should be.
Wisdom bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever your wisdom bonus
Well,
is.
so then that would be 13.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So I will explain what Greta and what River see, and then Urash will talk about what you see in a minute. Celsig, you don't think you have anything to worry about in terms of stealth because the noise is so loud that it would be hard for the person to hear themselves, let alone anything else. Like, it is just deafening this close to the tower. So you're able to move around very easily. The base of the tower is actually in pretty reasonably good condition, really reasonably good repair. You could get up there, but you would have to climb probably a good 40 feet to get up to where I mentioned there's this big gouge in the top of the tower, and then to be able to see it. But it sounds like the tower is almost rumbling from the sound of the singing / sobbing. So that might be the creature might be leaning against a wall or something like that. It's not clear, but definitely you don't have to worry that they're hearing you. But you're not going to be able to get in the obvious way without maybe climbing over the boulder and then kind of making their way up through there. You might be able to sneak around, like squeeze through the boulder. That's possible because it's not totally covering the opening. Medium creatures, Urash could never do it, but you might be able to, Selsig, because of your size. So while you're thinking about that, Greta and River, you see these four. I've been talking about the copper shape far in the distance. You can't see Kalismana right now, but there are these four much smaller shapes and much closer that are flying around the top of the tower. They look vaguely reddish, perhaps, to you. And Urash, you believe you have seen these before. These look like bloodhawks, which are dangerous, aggressive creatures that will attack if people come too close. Right now, they're just sort of sailing above the top of the tower. They don't seem to be making any aggressive moves, and obviously they're not coming close to the, yelling, but they are definitely circling above the top of the tower.
Okay, I'll point to them and I'll motion to the others. So those are bloodhawks. That means we can't get too close without getting into a scrap.
Too close meaning too close to the tower or too close
Yeah.
to the top floor?
I assume the tower.
Well,
Okay.
Selsig is right next to the base of the tower, and they're not doing anything with him.
But he
At
is
least.
sneaking.
True. That's true. Yep.
At
So-
the moment, I am, yeah.
It could be they just don't see him.
That is true.
So we don't know.
Are
They could not see him because he's very good at what he does, or they just could not care.
are-
And, he's a top class ranger.
How dangerous are they?
Top class. They are just very aggressive and pretty fast, so they will definitely come at you if you get in. They're not necessarily evil per se, but they're just
It's not a deadly fight, but it's certainly a scrap.
right,
Okay. Oh well.
and might even attract the attention of whatever's going on in there. Maybe, although who knows?
Well, if then comes out, that's a win-win, isn't it?
If he can come out, I have several questions about the boulder itself, really.
You're not
Yeah,
next
is
to us.
This is true.
Yeah,
Quiet,
this is just
quiet, you.
loud right now.
We're waiting for you to come back.
That's true. Right now, you're just on your own way. So, but I wanted to find out what you folks were doing before I go back to Selsig. So, if anything.
Waiting, sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I don't.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I wanted to pay closer attention to River. I wanted to know what she was carrying, whether or not she had any weapons on her, that sort of thing.
Okay, that's up
Let
to
me-
what river you want to be able to describe. It's up to you.
I am learning about myself.
As time goes on, we're all learning together, really. and-
Yes. Looks like, well, just overall, I am extremely disheveled. Like, it looks like I put a pouch on upside down, and so it's an empty pouch, and like my hair's a mess, and there's some leaves somewhere, like they're poking out of my robes, but you don't know where they are. But I'm carrying a quarterstaff, a dagger, and a dart. Looks like I can use, and you can see these
Okay.
clearly because I'm awkward. So, and you can also tell that my attention span is struggling. So unless you guys are actively talking to me, normally I'm looking around, I'm looking at the floor, I'm looking at the sky,
Absolutely. It was more curiosity on my part. A disheveled, slightly crazy sounding person standing in the middle of a forest carrying no weapons at all seems like a fair person to help out. Someone who
Yeah.
just happens to be carrying 2 bastard swords on their back and, I don't know, wielding fire in both hands, going to be a little bit more suspicious.
yeah.
A bard.
Fire in both hands does not make you suspicious.
You would know.
Suspicious. It
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
make
I
you
have-
suspicious to us.
I have a quarterstaff and a dagger, so I am
Cool.
clearly armed.
Cool. Good to know. That's it
Okay.
now.
All
So
right.
while they've been doing that, I've sort of tentatively been trying to insert my head into the gap in the boulder to see what's in there. I
Yes.
don't really want to put myself
now
fully
he's
on the other side of the boulder.
Well, I was going to say you are able to determine that you can squeeze past it. It's conceivable that this could be rolled away, but it would be a pretty impressive feat of strength, certainly beyond your capabilities, Celsig. Maybe 3 or 4 of you working together, maybe Urash on a good day, but it would be hard for you to do it by yourself. But you could, you're pretty sure, squeeze through this opening into the center of the tower. And as you're sort of, I don't know if you've ever had the experience of like you hear a noise and then you lower your head so that you can then hear the sound. So like coming from the side of the boulder, it's like like, you know, really loudly, just it's echoing like around the acoustics of the inside of the tower too. So it's like going into a cathedral and listening to beautiful music, except this is not beautiful music at all. It's really
Yeah.
not at all good music.
I mean, I'm just trying to weigh up the pros and cons, because pro about if I know what's in there before I go in, great. If I go in there and things go bad, I'm stuck on the wrong side of a boulder that other people can't fit in to help me.
Like he said, he thought it would be Sephiroth. Sephiroth! Like, I said no. Oh.
I said no.
I'll head back to the party at this point, I think.
Okay.
I
So
don't
you make your way
understand.
back around and find the party kind of looking up at the sky a little bit and then looking back down.
It's like, well,
I'll motion to the Bloodhawks to Celsig as well.
Yeah, you can
I
see
left
them
you
too.
alone for 5 minutes.
Hey, man, we didn't disturb them. They're not on us.
So what did you find?
It can't sing.
It's singing, isn't it? I also
So it
thought
is
so.
singing.
I assumed it's singing. It's attempted singing. No, there's no real way in unless someone climbs all the way up. I'm not doing that.
So is that thing trapped in the tower?
With the way it's singing, I would have locked it in.
Yeah, but is it?
I don't know. I didn't ask it.
No, like. Okay, is this the boulder blocking the whole door, Arvin?
No, it's blocking most of it, but there are gaps around it. Small creatures, maybe you, Greta, although the armor might make it difficult, but maybe you could sneak through. Urash and River, not likely. Celsig probably could get through the edge of the boulder, through the boulder. And the boulder does look movable, although it would take a big sort of feat of strength to do it. Also, rolling the boulder out of the way would, certainly bring the attention of whatever is currently, operating it up inside the tower.
Could we get over the boulder to get inside?
No, the boulder is probably too high for that. It's more that you'd have to get around the sides of it.
Yeah, well,
Even
somebody
if you
can-
clambered up, like it's on top of the wall. So I should say the top of the door. So, you clamber up and
okay.
you'd be facing the wall again.
Yeah. Okay. So
Celsig, did you see any more entrances?
Only if you want to climb 40 feet.
Oh,
I think you've done enough
What?
falling for a while.
but it's only 40 feet. I've fallen at least 3 times that and survived.
We did mostly have to scrape you up, but you did survive. Yeah.
I'm still here.
yes, you are still here.
Anyone you can walk away from.
Now, I think I could fit round the boulder, but until I know if the boulder's there to keep people out or that thing in, I don't really want to be stuck on the wrong side of it.
Could you maybe do your ranger sneaky thing and sneak in, have a quick look, sneak back out?
I have a different idea.
Go for it.
Celsig,
Burn it down!
Blow it up.
Celsig, you mentioned once that you can throw your voice. Maybe you could try to throw the voice inside the tower and talk to the thing, so it doesn't know we're outside.
That's not a bad idea.
Nesandorma, Nesandorma.
Let me just check the specifics on the
Just
spell.
in case we've forgotten what this thing.
What about the birds?
We definitely don't want to disturb the birds. The birds are not nice birds.
The birds are still circling.
Yeah, we're not doing anything to the birds, and the birds don't seem to mind us right now. So
What if they do mind? Oh no. Well, they didn't mind Celsig, which means they never mind. Never mind.
I am very small, though. People
Yes, they
overlook
could
me
have-
a lot.
They could have not seen him. But if they do come over, if we accidentally draw their attention, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Mm.
Okay, so is that what you're doing? So Celsig is going to try to, as I understand it, squeeze through while the three of you...
No.
No, you're not.
Ooh.
No.
Voice throwing.
Try and
Oh,
get,
voice throwing.
you know,
That's right, voice throwing.
try-
Sorry.
Just to get its attention. Just
Okay.
something like, excuse me. That's all I want to project to the other side of the boulder.
Okay. All right, so so you go over to the side of the boulder, drop down again. The noise gets louder, and you
I'm coming with him just in case.
okay.
I
You
wasn't
also
moving-
hear the
I was moving to come with
Yeah,
me.
we're far away from the door, I assume.
not that far away. I mean, like you're not like certainly hundreds
Wow.
of feet.
Far enough away not to annoy the birds.
Yes, that's true. Celsig got right up to the base of the tower though, but
Sneaking.
yes, sneaking. That's true. You were not. That's true. You guys did not
I am
sneak.
not stealthy.
So, so Celsig and Greta are going to move back to the base of the tower. So, Greta, I'm going to need you to make a stealth roll. Celsig also, both of you to make
Okay.
stealth checks.
Floop.
I'm
Well then.
so stealthy.
Okay, so
I'm so stealthy
so
again.
Celsig, you just silently like move along, and behind you, you're like, okay, are we going quietly now? Is it okay?
I'm clanging my shield against my armor, like clunk, clunk.
Faustus, like this is really hard. Like you're just like at this point you would have been slaughtered 5 times over, Celsig. Like, you know, the birds like caw, like as they sort of look down. They don't attack though.
Every time.
Fortunately, though, that sound, even that stage whisper, is drowned out by the sound of, let's see, everybody hurts sometime, like crying, as you get up to the boulder. So you are then able to, if you wish, bend down and try to throw your voice to the other side, Celsig. You do that, and the voice very clearly to you is sounding, but this is basically what you hear. So you're like, hello there, and you hear everybody and everybody, like, you know, really, really loud. You think it very, very unlikely that it hears anything besides itself.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move this boulder.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a giant in there, it could move the boulder anytime it wanted. So I don't think we're risking anything by doing it ourselves. So I'm motioning to Urash to come.
Okay.
You see them flailing at you.
Yeah, I see the universal come here, half orc.
Right, exactly. Flail away.
Do the thing. Okay, I'll come and try and move the boulder.
Okay.
This is where
Okay.
all my wands are.
I'm helping.
Okay.
I'm helping as well. We may as well do it as a team effort.
We're all helping.
We're all helping.
Okay. So
I'm
you guys go down there. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to ask you to make a stealth check, Urash, and I'm going to give you +2 for everyone that helps you. So Greta's +2, Celsig's +2, River's +2. So
on
if
a
all 3 of them
stealth
are helping you, that's +6.
On the
Okay, on a stealth check.
On a strength
Strength.
check. Did I say stealth? Strength.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Strength check.
I was like,
You're
how are you
stealthily
helping
rolling the
stealth?
boulder. I just figured you want to.
I'm standing next to him going,
I'm
"Shh,
wearing
quiet."
wearing Celsig on my.
Yeah,
on my
sorry.
back.
You're just
Cloak of invisibility.
My bad. Yeah, no. Sorry, strength
It's
check.
just a
Strength.
crawling dog pile of adventurers.
Exactly.
The half orc just underneath.
You're doing the obvious.
a
Doot, doot,
line.
doot, 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 doot. All right. So go ahead and make a strength check for me. Just Urash, you'll add the. Wow. 25 plus the 6. So that means 31. So Urash, you're like, ready? 1, 2, and then you're like, and the boulder's like, roll, 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 like, and you roll forward. So far, you all stumble forward, like, right? And you all look up for a minute, and you see, the first thing you see, hanging above you are these bare feet. That are sort of dangling from what looks like a level or like a platform above you, and the singing is stopped. And then you look something staring down at you, and as you all look up gradually, you see this huge, clearly giant And from the furs and skins that she's wearing, probably a hill giant, if you had to guess, staring down at you. And she looks at you, and then she says, "Get away!" and picks up a rock and hucks it at you. I need all of you to make dexterity saving throws for me, please.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so good at
I think
this.
you want to get a bonus.
Yes.
Celsic just like parkours out, like actually jumps, like backflips over the, the boulder, like
I'm good at.
actually singing Cirque du
Wow.
Soleil as he does it. Stella, da, da, da. Urash also parkours right, like spins right. We'll talk about River in a minute. Greta. Greta. Did Greta roll? Okay.
Yes, I did.
So
I did.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So Greta, you are nicked by this thing. You are going to take, let's see. You are going to take 3 points of damage from the rock. Unfortunately, as you're zigging, while River was zagging, you guys kind of bumped into each other a little bit. And as a consequence, actually, River, do you have a hit point total for me that you started with?
27.
27.
Distracted at just the
So
wrong
you
time.
take 7 points of damage because you get knocked almost full in the face, like cool, like hit backwards by this thing. And now you have this angry hill giant looking out down at you, and the hill giant again says, "Get out! All get out!" And you can see that she's got tears streaking her face as she reaches down to pick up another boulder.
Why are you throwing boulders at us? This is not nice.
She sort of and she sort of like seems like she's picking up the boulder. She's like really angry. So you started. Do you want to say anything else, Greta, or just that?
Hey, stop it. We're here to help.
What is the intelligence level of this troll or whatever?
That's a good that's a good question. You don't know. Hill giants are not known for being particularly bright. Also, the words that it spoke to you were in common, not giant. It was in common, but it spoke to you this sort of very rough kind of "get out" type of thing.
Okay, hands up, easy. We're not here to hurt you. Please don't throw anymore.
I'm in a heap on the ground sobbing.
Okay. So she stops and she holds her boulder for a minute like that, just sort of poised this way. Why you in tower?
We heard you crying. We were worried.
Worried about Moog? No one worries about Moog.
What
Not
about
even
Ruby?
Moog worries about Moog.
Well,
Not
Moog.
anymore.
Oh, God.
Because all by myself. It just starts thinking like, and then starts weeping again, holding the boulder.
Is her
And then like looks at you and like pulls her boulder back again as you start talking.
Oh, whoa, easy.
is her foot like where I can reach it?
Not now, because when she saw you. Well, actually, yes, I'll say so. Well, you'd have to like jump to get to it. It's on
No,
the
no, no,
second
okay,
level,
no.
so
No.
it's dangling down at you.
Don't tickle
No,
the giant.
I think nonstop is not in chat. I'm not gonna jump.
It's put her dizzy. Clearly a female hill giant.
Yes.
That would not be nice.
I try to pull River up. Are you okay? Oh God. It's going to get better soon.
Why was she so mean?
She
We should
said,
have brought flowers. She would have been nice.
She says, and then she yells, "Everybody mean to Moog. Moog mean back. Small folk hate Moog. Moog hates small folk. Moog hate everything because no one left. All alone in the world." Starts crying again.
We don't hate you. We don't hate you at all.
River, maybe get some flowers.
I'll go get flowers.
Yes.
I prance out of the tower to go look for flowers.
Okay.
Wonderful. Good.
There are some like wildflowers not that far from here.
I'm
I'll
gonna
go
keep
pick
an eye on River in case she forgets what she's doing. You just-
Okay. Why was I out here?
Very good.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
birdies.
So Urash and Greta, while they're doing that, you were still inside, and she's sort of kind of weeping, still holding the boulder up, but sort of like more by her shoulder now instead of up by her head, ready to throw.
There. Let tell us what happened, Moog. Maybe we can help.
Small folk don't help. They just hurt. Hurt Moog.
We didn't hurt
Who-
you so
who
far,
hurt you?
did we?
Everyone, small people, and my husband.
Oh god.
Husband. And then she takes the boulder and starts bashing herself in the face. And then, why
Oh, God.
won't this stop doing nothing? Like, just, you know, the tower shakes a little bit. The hawks are like, caw! Like, you know, getting like slightly up.
I look
okay.
I look at Urash. You have experience in like the romantic department. Here you go.
For like the last day.
More than
Suddenly he's the Casanova.
Great. Thanks. Suddenly I'm Dr. Phil. Okay, yeah, it's okay. It's all gonna be okay. Maybe put the boulder down. Maybe stop bashing yourself in the face. It's not gonna make anything better, is it?
And she says, why? Why put boulder down? Don't trust small folk. You'll attack me and hurt Moog
Oh.
again.
Let's face it. If we were gonna attack you, you could just squash us. Let's be honest. You don't need a boulder to do it. You just stand on us.
And Moog sort of looks down. You moved boulder. Pretty strong.
But thank you.
Ah! And like lifts the rock higher.
It's okay. I find I'm surprisingly wiry for a small person.
River and Celsig, by this point you two have come back. River is bearing flowers.
Yes.
Look,
Here,
we brought
please,
you flowers.
Moog, look for you, Moog, just for you.
And Moog, for a minute, Moog looks confused, like, why bring flower? Moog?
Cause we love you.
And when you say love, her eyes well up. Love! No love for Moog! Oh, why was Moog left alone? Tell me, how am I supposed to... Like, starts singing again.
Why?
It's all gonna be okay. Why don't you talk to us, tell us what happened, and see if we can help.
Make a persuasion check for me, please, Urash, but do it...
That's okay.
do it at... I'll have you do it at advantage.
That's not gonna help. You know what will help? If I had inspiration.
Oh, well, you know what, chat? If any of you, that's a good call. If any of you are a member of my channel and have a support the Patreon at the $10 or $20 level, or sub to my channel at the $10 level or above, you get a inspiration which you could use to inspire one of the 4 players and give them advantage on this roll.
So you're saying I can roll this at advantage?
You can roll this at advantage, yes.
I will roll this at advantage. I would just need to roll it twice, essentially. 19.
Whoa.
See, you didn't trust yourself. So you do this, and she says,
With good reason. None of my persuasion checks ever panned out.
she said, so she sort of lowers the boat and says, not hurt Moog? Listen,
No.
Moog?
Yep, absolutely.
And
I'm
she
still gesturing with the flowers.
right. So she lowers the boulder down, and then rather unexpectedly, like slides off like a child would off of a railing, except this time it's off the 2nd floor. So like hits the ground, like you all stagger back a few steps. The flowers go flying up in the air. River, and she looks down and says, Moog, sorry, hit you in face.
Oh, it's okay, Moog.
Thank
It hurt a lot.
Yeah, sometimes things hurt. Sorry. And she apparently, in an attempt to pat you on the back, like pounds you in the shoulder so you stagger back like 5 steps. Like apparently this is her trying to make you feel better. Like you sort of, yeah. And she's like, well,
Yes.
well, and she's like starting to, you'll make fun of Moog. And turns around.
Have you looked at us?
Absolutely not.
Have you looked at us?
And she looks back and says, well, you are little and have flowers for reasons? I don't, all right. And she turns back around and says, it's because Chief God took my husband, took Ruck.
What? That sounds mean. What happened?
That's right. Ruck was my husband, and every day was a wonderful day. Wake up with Ruck, pound Ruck in the face, walk out to lunch, pound something else in the face, pound things in the face with Ruck, pound other things, Ruck's face with other things. Great day. And then one day, Ruck not there, and I find Ruck, and he say, he tired of me pounding him in the face, and I say, it love, and he say, no, Chief God not pound me in face so much, and then I go here, where no one bothers me, so I can cry, because I lost my husband, Rock, by myself. And he starts to sob again.
To the team, open to suggestions on topics of conversation to make this move forward.
Moog, if he does not appreciate you pounding him in the face, he does not deserve you.
Good.
She says, maybe, but
You are-
miss
you are-
Rock so much. Miss pounding him in face. His face was so poundable in things.
You are better than that. You deserve better.
You mean deserve someone who pounds in face better?
Yeah,
I not know. Rock pretty good at it.
yeah, but look, this chief guard, what was her name? I don't even know her name. She's not important.
Chief Guh. She big hill giant chief. She's the big chief.
She's and she does not like. She does not even pound him in the face.
No, Rock says she does things like hit him in back instead of face. Who does that? And she kind of like shrugs like, can you believe it? She says,
Everyone's got kink.
Can you imagine? Can you think of it? And she looks down at you, River. She's like, think what like not to be hit in face. And like as your face is still sore, you're kind of like, she seems to be sort of like you know commiserating. You know, like when you hit people in face, that's how you show love. You know.
Hey, so you love me because you hit a rock in my face?
Well, actually just wanted you to leave. But now, me think love could be there for people who get pounded in face, but not for Moog because her husband left her and I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty rocks have got no rhythm.
We've considered that perhaps punching in the back is better than punching in the face?
Punching in back? And she sort of looks at you like you've just said, like, you know, you shouldn't be a giant. Like, punching back? That's, well... And she thinks about it, and then she kind of, her brow furrows. Like, she's clearly thinking, you practically see the steam coming out of her ears. She's like, do you think Hruck like Moog if Moog not hit him in face?
But in back.
Maybe.
Oh,
Worth a try.
well, well, here, you. And she points at you, or like, so like her finger stops like 1 inch from her face. She's like, let me try. And she sort of turns you around, and then she doesn't hurt you like bad. Like she like pounds you in the back, so you're like, oh, like you stagger forward a couple steps. She's like, all right, now turn around.
No.
Now, you sort of love me? And she points at you like directly.
Well, I don't hate you.
No, we all gesture. Yes.
We are, yes, yeah, absolutely,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it worked then. And she says, I should find others to test. Well, all right, but I can't go back now. Hruck doesn't want to talk to me. I don't have any... Wait. If you could bring back Hruck and tell him, no, Moog, no, hit him in face. Now Moog, just hit him in back. Oh, and then Moog would be much happier, and everyone would be happy then.
Why do you need him to talk to you when you just want to hit him in the back? He doesn't need to talk to that for that. You
Just find him, walk up to him, and hit him in the back. Show him how much you love him.
And she says, no. Now he's with
Focus
Chief.
Pie River.
Now he's with Chief Guh. Now he's with Chief Guh. Chief Guh, not like me, not like Moog. Chief Guh sees Moog, she say, if Moog come back, Moog be hit in face until can't be hit in face because dead.
Wow, this is all very complicated.
Who knew giants had such a rich cultural life?
Indeed.
So you want us to bring Hruck here so you can punch him in the back here?
Oh, no, I lead you to place where hill giants are.
Yeah.
to Grudhog. It fine. There's only 150 hill giant there.
Yeah.
Big fortress, big place. Chief
We-
big strong giant. You go there, talk to her, and tell Hruk to come back, and that'd be great. I'll lead you there. Let go. And she gets up and
No.
starts like striding out.
That's
No,
a
no, no, no,
hard
no, no, no,
pass.
no, 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 no.
We're not having the best luck with giants.
Do they have big food?
And she's like, oh yeah, eat full sheep or cow. Just raw. Lot food.
I promptly stop chewing on flowers and follow her.
No.
You immediately abandon vegetarianism. Like, that life is not for me.
Moog, what do they usually do with small people in your place?
Oh, well, sometimes eat, or, well, sometimes cut first, then eat, sometimes pound in face, then eat, usually eat, but not always. There was small one the other day. Small one comes and tells Chief Ga, you help me, and Chief Ga say, no, and then little man say, oh, well, you do something bad, and then Chief Ga take fist and pound ground, but man gone.
Okay, but if they eat us, we can't really talk to Huak.
And so you could tell that like the brain is now, like trying to run up, like, and so she's thinking, what if Moog wait outside Grudhog and wait for you come help Moog get Hruk back? So you do little thing you just do, whatever, do what I don't, doesn't matter, whatever, and then come find me, find Moog, and Moog bring you into Grudhog. Moog will wait there. For you.
Won't get eaten?
I look at it. Did anyone get that? Because I didn't.
I'm catching bits.
Yeah.
And she's
I'm a ranger.
She still wants us to walk into a fortress full of hill giants, right?
she rolls her eyes like, oh, small people, not very smart. Here. And she goes out to the boulder and she says, here, fortress. And she picks up the boulder with ease. Just like picks it up and is like, poosh, right? Here
back
you.
a bit.
And then she picks up you, Selsig, and it puts you next to the boulder. Like, doesn't hurt you, but just like, poosh. Moog. And then reaches over to you, Greta, picks you up, pushes you next, puts you next to Selsig. That, you, rest of you. Moog, pointing to you, Selsig. Wait, you, pointing to you, Greta. Come, Moog. Moog, wait, pointing at you, Selsig, as if you wait.
Look,
So you want
Moog,
me to stay right here?
Moog, we don't want to get eaten.
And she sort of rolls her eyes. Not so bad. Don't really feel it. Never happened to Moog, but Moog sure don't really feel much. Really.
I just agree with her. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't hurt too bad.
I look at River like, what?
Like you. Should hit you in face more often.
Aww.
No. We can't get Huak if he's going to eat us. It doesn't work that way.
And she sort of thinks like really hard, says, maybe you do other thing first, then Chief Ga, not problem, then you help Moog.
What is the other thing we need to do first?
Giants, other giants, everyone angry. Cloud giant, hate. Storm giant, hate. Fire giant, hate. What a giant, frost giant, hate. Hill giant, everyone fight. You stop that. Then Moog together with Hruk. And pound in face. No, back, pound and back. As you can see, it repeats it like a mantra. Pound and back, pound in the back.
So we just stop the war between the giants first, and then we come back and meet you.
Sound good.
Yeah, okay. Let's go.
What? No.
Somehow easier than not getting eaten by a tribe of giants.
And she says, oh, no, not you, me. And and she points vaguely off to the east somewhere and says, "Me go to Grudhog. You stay here, finish, end war, save world, then bring back Rock with Moog. Moog, see you there in a day."
So,
And
no. Stopping a war takes longer than a day, usually.
Well, more than a day.
Yes.
Many lots days.
Many lots days. Oh,
Many lots.
very, very old. Almost the old as Chief Guh. She many lots old, multiple, many days. Malt days.
Wow.
Tries
Wow,
to
that's
say
really
multiple,
old.
but says malt. Clearly, it's a malt days.
Yeah.
All right, see you in malt days. But, and she starts to turn around and leave, and then turns around like rapidly. What? And puts a big finger in your all collective faces and says, "What? If you don't come find Moog very angry. Moog come find you and then pound you in the face, and not for love, but other reason." And sort of like does the finger, like each of you want finger.
Okay.
No.
If we manage to stop the war between the giants, we will come and seek out Moog near the Gronkwok, whatever.
And she says, all right, good, thanks. And then turns and then just like starts booking it, like running after. And as she goes, you can see that one of the hawks breaks away from the pack, like the circling group, and dives down, clearly distracted by the movement. And as it gets close, like without even paying attention, basically, Moog just reaches over her shoulder and like just crushes it and just tosses it aside as she keeps running. Run.
I like her.
And pretty soon is out of sight. So you now have the tower to explore for yourselves. Kalismana is not back yet. He seems to be still in the far distance. There are still 3 hawks remaining that are circling above you. Or above
I'm
the
already
tower.
breaking out the sack.
Loot
Okay, let's
the artifacts.
Yes.
Okay, River, I think we can go inside now.
Oh, yay! Now we can get the circles. Can we eat the bird?
Inside the tower, just way ahead of you.
He's just scouting ahead. It's what he does.
As you hear the shoveling of gold.
I break out the retractable crowbar.
There are actually, as you're searching through the rubble, is it Celsig? You're the one searching for the most part, I think, or Urash as well. So,
Yep,
Urash,
definitely.
you actually help Celsig sort of clearing rubble. While you guys are doing that, River and Greta, what are you two doing as Celsig
I'm
and Urash?
keeping an eye on River that she does not do anything that will teleport us anywhere without my pony.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Not without my pony.
Without
And
your pony,
my pony.
not your teammates.
and
Your pony.
you will follow. The pony won't.
Screw those loot mongerers.
I know that you will follow, but the pony won't. So that's the thing. So
We don't actually
I
know
will
what the
take care that he does not get us into trouble. I will follow and keep an eye on River.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So as you folks go in, and by the way, let me just take a moment to say hello, everyone. You've got about a little bit, about 25 minutes or so left of D&D with GOG, Storm King's Thunder, starring the wonderful GOG stream team, now added by its newest member. We have Pyron Jade, we have Darksaber 2K, we have Screaming Joypan, and of course Tasty Chai, who has joined us today and will be joining us going forward. Also, quick note about amusing that people watching Twitch called other people nerds. I find that very, very amusing. We're all nerds, my friend. Welcome to the group. You, as you're searching through the rubble, what you discover on the floor is what looks like a cracked floor tile. And there's 2 things you notice. First of all, the cracked floor tile, you would have to like either pound your hammer through it or your axe through it, like your handle of your axe, or you'd need to like move it out of the way. But it definitely looks like there's maybe another sort of larger chamber perhaps below it, because you can actually feel some air kind of flowing up from down there, some cooler air from down there.
I'll nudge Celsig. Is it trapped? Are we gonna die?
Go ahead and do an investigation check if you want to check that out.
I think I probably should.
What's up, Adaroxy?
Not bad, 23.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem to be. It seems to be just a sort of, if anything, it seems like a tile that was moved into place to perhaps seal this area off a long time ago, but over time is cracked from age, and this is what is left.
Right. Nevertheless, I'm still going to find something to poke it from a distance with.
Okay.
I have a strength check of 15.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. The minute he was like, "Oh, it doesn't appear to be," I was already bringing my.
Like just bringing it down about it. So you sounds good. So it it breaks in. The rubble falls to the bottom of the floor, and it actually falls probably about 10 feet, and then lands. And when it lands, it actually lands on what sounds not like stone. It actually almost sounds like it's landing on something worked. As if it were landing on something smooth like glass or something like that below the surface. And there is some light streaming in from the top of the tower. You can just make out as you sort of look down, there seems to be what looks like a shiny sort of reflecting light floor down below. Definitely not the rough stone that makes up this upper level tower floor.
I would like to cast my dancing lights down in the chamber below so we can get a clearer look.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for the follow to GOG. Stifle yourself. As you set the dancing lights down, you see a couple of things. Number one, you see this in the center of this room, which looks to be roughly the same size. It's also circular, roughly the same size as the tower. But you can see down below that the room has, number one, a rather decent-sized chest in the middle of it. And then there are a bunch of these strange symbols around the outside of the chest on the floor, basically surrounding it.
I mean, on the one hand, chest.
100% true.
On the other hand, yes. there is 0% chance of that not being trapped to hell and back.
And right now, that's just you looking down, so it's up to what, nobody else has come back to look, but you could if you wish.
I want to look.
Okay, so River, you see this. River, I'd like you to make an Arcana check for me, please, which is intelligence. And then if you should have that as a skill, Arcana, so you can add that bonus to your intelligence. I think on the sheet. Unless I'm mistaken, I may be wrong.
No, well, it's a 0, so it doesn't matter.
Ah, okay. Really?
I know, right? It shouldn't
That's
be,
weird.
but there it
I
is.
got a 2 for my Arcana.
I have 0.
I have -1.
I did just get a kind of
And
normal
mine's realistic,
sheet.
so
Kind of like a random sheet. Woo! I got a 5.
You're like, wow, that is a circle. I've seen circles before. It's
seen
not a
cir-
square.
Did I try it?
supposed
Did
to
you
do
have some
something
kind
with
of intelligence?
I think I was looking for circles.
I'm also moving to the hole. What is down there?
You can also make an Arcana check for me if you have it, Greta, or if not, just a...
there we go.
Yours is so much better than mine.
So, you're pretty sure that this is a mystical circle of some kind. You don't know what it does, because you need to actually be down there to investigate it more closely, but they definitely look like arcane symbols that are surrounding this area. And by the way, the chest is in the middle of the floor, but there's a pretty good gap between... like a floor, in other words, between where the circle is and where of all the symbols and where the chest is. So it'd be possible to drop next to the chest without jumping on the chest, if you follow what I mean. There's a buffer between the chest and the rest of the stuff around it.
When the tire was smashed, did they fall in the circle or outside the
They
circle?
fell in the circle, and the pieces of
Right.
stone and rubble are lying around the chest, just on the floor. Nothing seemed to happen.
And they
with
didn't
those.
set anything.
No.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Nope.
Okay.
There's no spikes or electricity.
Demons, there's nothing.
Oh, okay.
I look at River. This might be the circles you were looking for, right?
Probably, unless there are different circles.
What are you supposed to do with these circles now?
Nothing. I was supposed to get rid of the big mean thing and then go tell my boss that they can come have it now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down for a look.
Salsic, do you want that chest, right?
No, it's purely scholarly interest.
Maybe we could like have you hang you down with a rope or something like that, because I don't trust
I could
those
just throw you
circles.
down.
I'm already holding the rope out.
Here you
What does a
go. I
ranger
will.
want
I will.
with treasure?
Sorry?
You are a ranger. Why do you want treasure?
Arrows are so expensive.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
I have so many arrows, you have no
so
idea.
Pricey.
I just shake my head. Shake my head.
Burns money in combat. He's ridiculous. The cost effectiveness of rangers is.
Have you
just
tried
completely-
throwing rocks? I throw rocks.
I throw halflings.
Oh, that's even better. Have you tried
Yeah.
that?
They run back as well.
The original smart ammo.
Exactly. Oh man.
Come here, Cruz. I'm going to lower you down into this chamber.
Okay, hold on tight.
Okay, so he lowers you down to the chamber, and as you get closer to it, your dancing lights, I assume you're keeping up, right? Celsius?
Oh yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
All right.
maintain them,
So-
cover as point.
And there's a lot of light coming from up top anyway. As you get down close to it, I'm going to actually show you, if you take a look on the stream, I will show you what you see when you're close to it.
It's a mimic, isn't it?
You see.
you see your own doom. No, you don't see that. You see this. This is what the floor actually looks like. Wait,
Really,
just a minute.
we have to
Crop
work.
That
Crop
doesn't
out
look
the
like
bit
a
that
treasure
says
chest to me.
obviously trapped.
And there is in fact a fairly like I say, not a massive, not a huge, but there definitely is a decent sized chest on top of it.
This is the chest. This is the floor beneath the chest.
This is right. The chest is on top of this, and these are some of the symbols you see. Also, I want to point out that the chest itself, Selsig, looks not to be in good repair. Like there's a very rusted, what might have been a lock, 100 years ago, but it's almost falling off. Like, it would not be a problem. Thanks for the follow, Blackstar, on GOG.
Best kind of chest.
Yes.
So we've gone from definitely a mimic to possibly a mimic. That's been downgraded.
I would like to try and pick up a rock off the floor and throw it at the chest to hit it.
Okay.
Wait, are you touching the floor?
Thunk.
Well, they said there was a buffer, so I'm trying to stay outside the circle while I'm doing
Okay.
this.
Go.
Well, technically, you're in the circle, but you're not in the symbols because the chest is like there's no way to get to the circle is all around the outside of the room. You are in that little. You see where the space where there's no symbols at all in the middle there, and there's just that one big symbol. The chest is on that big symbol. You were in one of the space, like the space near the symbol, but not on it and not on the circle around it either.
Right, yeah, I think.
I shout at Celtic, if it teleports you to Waterdeep, wait for us there, okay? If it teleports you to anywhere else, good luck.
If it teleports from someone, what's going to happen to me? I'm holding on to him.
How
Maybe we
poor.
should all hold on. Then we can go for a ride.
I just get consumed into this tiny hole in the floor.
Do the symbols mean anything to me? Can I do like a history or even an arcana? I'm reasonably intelligent.
Sure, you could make I'll let you make an Arcana check for me. Let's see what
And
you got.
modest too.
Okay.
Okay, you're pretty sure that from what you remember of teleportation circles, if that's in fact what this is, you would guess that this is a circle that was designed, first of all, that it was designed to move or shift things, probably to teleport someone somewhere else, almost certainly. Frankly, you would have probably been dead already if that were not the case, so you're pretty confident it's a teleportation circle. But the way that, as you remember, is that it required two things. It required, first of all, a catalyst, like a key, something to actually activate it, but then also it needed, with some of the more elaborate ones, multiple people to activate it. So, for example, if there were 4 symbols, you would need 4 people to stand at each one of the symbols to actually activate the circle and be teleported somewhere. Now, these circles at some time could teleport people literally thousands of miles away. It could teleport you into a dungeon on top of a mountain, into a lord's, the castle of some lord. And this is a very old room. It feels old. It feels like there's a lot of age, and the floor is in remarkably good shape, as if it's been not just well preserved, but as if there's been something maintaining it, not just, it was luckily inside like a tower. Like there must have been something else preserving it, because the floor still seems pristine other than the little pieces of rubble that are on it.
Okay. I sort of shout back up. I think when I was training on how to do the little bits of trickery that I've picked up recently, I've come across this diagram before, and I think we all need to be down here for it to do something, or we need the key.
Well, then we just stay up here and you should be fine, right?
In theory, a theory's a wonderful thing,
Okay.
So what you're saying is, if we are up here, then you're safe down there.
That is the words that came out of my mouth, I think.
Okay.
Hold on tight.
So, what,
I'm going in.
so what's in your chest?
Yeah, I go up to the chest now. I'm checking.
If it's sharp, it's mine.
Go ahead and go ahead and make an investigation check.
Them's the rules. If it's shiny, it's yours. If it's sharp, it's mine.
All right. Well, you're pretty confident that if this thing were trapped, you would have a good sense of it. It doesn't look as if it was. It does look as if it was locked, but you don't even think you'd have to pick it at this point because the lock is so rusted. You could probably just one big, quick yank on the lock might break it. It looks very sort of run down.
I'll break out my trusty retractable crowbar and give it a lever.
Okay, so you see the following. First of all, as you lever it open, you notice a couple of things. Inside the box is what looks like almost a red velvet cushion, basically, that sort of coats the inside or is in the underside of the chest. And there are three things that you notice. First of all is a small bag or sack, a little bit larger than a pouch, but not as big as a huge sack, that is just sort of sitting on the velvet. On the right side is what looks like some kind of a bracelet. You don't know what kind, but it looks like some kind of a bracelet. And then in the middle, you see a kind of what looks almost like an amulet, and the amulet has the exact same symbols and design as the room you're standing in. So basically it looks like a mini version of this room.
So I'm very emphatically not going to touch the amulet right now, in case that's the on switch. Hey, look! Boom! Gone!
Found something! Thanks,
are there any
Tom
more?
Sparrow, for the call.
The bracelet?
Sure. I can give you a description for certain. So, in just a minute, as soon as I find the thing. Yes. Okay. So this thing has what looks like, it is, first of all, this bracelet is made of kind of a dull copper tone almost. Reminds you a little bit actually of Talismana, but not quite the same color. But it's a dull copper. And around the outside of the bracelet, you see what looks like a sword. The tip of the blade is on one end of the bracelet, and then the sword blade goes all the way around the outside, and there's a handle on the other side, basically touching the tip of the blade, to allow you to, if you wished, if you were to put it on your wrist, you'd be able to see the whole thing. But that's what it looks like. It's a decent size. It does look like it would fit you, although it'd be a little big for your arm, but you would be able to fit it on if you wished.
Would, say, a half-orc be able to wear it?
Yeah, I would think so. It would be a bit of a squeeze.
I think it would look smashing.
Yeah.
Yes, it goes well with your eyes, I think.
Indeed.
I'll investigate the pouch next, then. I'll pocket the bracelet for now.
Okay.
I'm not putting it on.
So the pouch makes some nice jingling sounds that you like to hear, Selsig. And when you open the pouch, you see that it contains a good number, probably about 50 or so, of large coins, but they're drawn in a denomination that you don't recognize. You don't remember ever having seen, and you've seen a lot of money in your time, but you don't remember seeing any of this kind of money anywhere in Faerun. Maybe it came from one of the islands, but again, you wouldn't know how it would have gotten here. It just looks like very old, and the coins themselves are pretty well preserved, but the designs are not ones that you necessarily recognize. So there's a lot of those coins here also.
Okay. So I shout back, well, I think we found something for you, Urash. Some coins I've never seen before, and yeah, I've seen a lot. Mostly when Urash was arm wrestling. Good old days.
Those days.
Good times, good times.
And I might have possibly found the on switch for this thing.
Okay. River, I was just wondering, how do you know your boss works for the Harpers?
He said so.
Okay. So he recruited you and like, hey, I'm one of the Harpers. Go find some circles.
Yeah, well, sort of. I live alone, and I have for my whole life, and he found me, in the woods. That way. And I gesture. And he said to find a tower, and then if I found the tower and I fixed it, then I could definitely be his best friend and eat his food. So that's why I'm here. Because I want food. I don't see very many people. He seemed nice, though. He had a beard.
I can see that was a very compelling offer. How does he look like, and what does he usually do? Do you know?
No, I only met him once, but he said he had a lot of food.
Okay, I look like at Urash.
What do you look like?
I can tell you what it looked like if you want, but it's up to you.
Yeah, you go ahead and DM.
No. Most of this I was want to hear you. He had a short trimmed dark red beard and dark red hair, and was rather striking. He had this sort of long crimson cape, and when he came and found you, he spoke to you kindly. Actually, he had come into the forest where you were when you were trying to aid one of the animals that you often spend a lot of time around, and this animal had gotten its foot caught in a trap, and so he was able to not only help the animal get its foot out of the trap, but also heal the animal's foot as well, which was pretty impressive. And so you guys got to talking, and then he started talking to you, and you remember, River, that he asked you lots and lots of questions about that didn't make a lot of sense to you, but they were sort of like, so what would happen if you found someone in a pit and that person was hurt and they needed help, but you were really hungry and you wanted to go get food? What would you do? And you would always answer things like, well, I mean, I'd be hungry, but I'd help the person out of the pit, obviously. And so he asked you a lot of questions like that. And after, a whole bunch of these, he kind of said, he said, I wonder if you might be willing to help me with a little bit of a problem. And that's when he told you exactly who. Actually, you never heard his name, but in terms of what he actually was.
Did he give you a reason why he could not come and have a look at this tower?
Oh, he's very busy. He said he had to go away somewhere and do. He had to do something. So I'm here now.
Right.
Well, I look at Urash with like, the guy's like, well, the Harpers have interesting recruiting methods, don't they?
They certainly do. Wait, you're seriously just doing this for food?
Well, it's really good food. He had a nice cape. That means nice cape means good food.
What kind of food do you like?
All food. All the food.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Did this guy show you any proof that he was with the Harpers?
He did.
Like...
He showed you a harp pin, which is what the Harpers usually carry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he was actually with the Harpers.
He showed you well. I mean, listen, showing you a harp pin doesn't mean it's not a microchip. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, he had a badge.
Yeah, exactly. Written in crayon, Harper. No, I didn't.
And then the R is backwards.
Right, yeah, backwards. Yeah.
So while they've been talking, I've sort of been examining the amulet some more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assume it's got like a neck cord or something like that.
Yes. And actually, not a neck cord. It's really, the amulet looked like a fine gold chain, or at least gold colored, probably gold.
Right. So I'm trying to disturb it as little as possible. I've tried to tie a rope to the end of it.
While disturbing as little as possible. Okay.
But, very, very, very delicately tying some rope onto it.
The rope is pretty thick
assuming...
around this not very large chain, just so you know.
Yeah.
A string, perhaps.
Yes.
I'm sure you have.
Like a big rope. Like.
I will attach my 50-foot rope tying the amulet.
It's
more or less, yeah.
String. That's what came to mind.
Exactly.
But yeah, just something strong enough to be able to, say, pull it in a hurry.
You can do that.
Head back over with the string, head back over to the rope. I've sort of grabbed hold of it and gone, Arash, pull like hell.
Okay.
The pin said, somebody cheered. I didn't see who cheered. I'm sorry about that, but the pin said Zen ... Harpers.
It's a sub.
It was Franklimatic. Franklimatic is subbed for 21 years in a row.
Yay!
Thank you,
Thank you, Franklimatic, so much. I'm sorry, I had my my sub thing was not on right. I apologize. But thanks, Friendly Money. So, you're holding up the amulet, Celsig?
Yeah, basically the idea is he's pulling me up, so if the amulet sets anything off, I'm moving away from it when it goes off.
It does not set anything off. Nothing happens.
Okay. Then I breathe a very big sigh of relief and show everyone what I found.
As you are pulled bodily through the hole in the floor. Quickly followed by a shiny amulet on a string.
So,
Cool, halfling.
so you do all of that, and all of you are sort of admiring and sort of pleased that you haven't all been destroyed utterly, and then you hear a laugh, and it's not an unpleasant laugh, but it is a laugh, and you hear the sound coming from above you, where they stand, because you guys are all down. I just want to confirm, you guys were all down there now at this point, I believe.
No, I never went down the hole.
So it's just
no.
Celsig was okay.
Yeah,
So
only
it's just Greta,
Celsig is
Urash,
down
and
there.
River. Okay. So the laugh that you hear then, Urash and River and Greta, is coming from behind you, and I mean, I shouldn't assume that you turn, but do you turn?
Yeah, we turn.
I totally turn.
Okay.
I totally turn.
So-
People laughing at my
We
back
have-
are not nice.
We have pulled Celsig back up. through
Right,
the hole.
I figured as you were pulling him up.
Yeah,
So Celsig,
yeah.
you get to see this as you're being sort of pulled up on the side, and you hear this laugh. Well, my friends, it's a great pleasure to see that we've actually gotten some work done here. And you were looking at a man with a neatly trimmed dark red beard and dark red hair and a cape. And he has his arms folded and he smiles broadly. As I said, not nastily, but just broadly. And he says, "My friends, and of course, my wonderful sweet River, we have many things to talk about, you and I. Many things to talk about while the day is still young." And with that, I think we will bring this session to an end. Because Chrono Wolf is coming on in about 4 minutes. So we gotta pass on, even though I would love to play this for 12 more hours in a row, but I do need to give way. Guys, wonderful session. I'm really, really pleased, and I will start this time from the bottom of the row and work back upwards. Chai, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be fun. I hope you will find it fun as well. Where will the fine people see you next? And also tell me if you had a good time. I mean, I hope you did. But
Oh yeah, of course I did. It's not every day that I get to play a crazy hermit, So I'm having a lot of fun with this. As far as when the good people will see me, I do stream on my own channel fairly frequently. Today is technically my Friday, but I will be going live, I would say probably in about 10 minutes over on my own channel, twitch.tv/tastychai. And on my page, I have links to social media and blah, blah, blah. So you can see me there. I think we're going to be playing The Long Dark tonight.
Nice. Outstanding. That's cool. Yeah, Chai's fun to watch. And as I say, I think she's going to be perfect. She actually told me when she's going to, she's like, "Now, I don't know about how much experience I had." I was like, "Not important. You will be just the right attitude
Really?
and personality fit." And I think the party will agree with me. And I'm very glad that I was able to bring in a fourth. And I'm sorry that I was so dumb that I didn't think of it till now. I'm just like, wait. Anyway, but thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing more adventures with you with this group. Moving right up the line, we've got our good friend Mike, Screaming Joypad. Mike, always a pleasure. Where will the fine people see you next, sir? Around the interwebs.
Next.
Say again?
Whenever your next D&D
Whenever
stream,
I'm next to his
you-
stream is, that's true.
Yeah,
Which
I
reminds
would-
me, do that doodle, by the way.
Yes, no, I will definitely. I'll put the dates in for that. You won't see me basically anywhere. I'm super busy with work, and I'm writing a book at the moment. I'm writing a fantasy novel. I'm nearing the
Fantasy
last-
writing, who does that?
I know, speculative fiction. That's such a dead genre.
Yeah.
It's coming up to the last third of the first draft, so I'm hoping to get my first edits out probably by the end of March. So I don't know, watch my Twitter feed. Who knows? Could be terrible, could be fantastic. Otherwise, just be excellent to each other. It's been absolutely fantastic playing as always. Tasty Chai, I've never met you before today, and you're an absolutely fantastic D&D player, and I look forward to playing with you more.
Aw, thanks.
Good stuff, man. Yes, and you can find Mike again on D&D with Infinity and Beyond on my channel, or of course right here with this group. Infinity and Beyond represent. If you want to get that shirt that he did, please check out ! Armstrong. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Oh man, merchandising. But thanks, man. Great job tonight, as always. Moving right on up the line, we have, of course, the wonderful Darksaber 2K, who had a chance to do some stealth, to do some searching, to do some roguish stuff, and to become a ranger. Who knew this was all possible? Saber, great stuff today. Where will all the fine people see you next, sir?
Oh, you can always catch me most days of the week on twitch.tv/darksaber2k, where I'm currently spending this week trying to finish off The Witcher 3, which, as you know, is roughly 2/3 of a lifetime game.
Yes.
But tomorrow, 9 p.m. UTC on GOG, it's finally here, and I can start my series of Kingdom Come Deliverance, which for some stupid reason was delayed by 2 weeks on GOG. I don't know why, and I've had to not play it for that long, and it's been a pain because it's a great game, and I'm looking forward to that.
But now it is back. GOG.com Deliverance. You have got it. So I'm looking forward to that. Good stuff, man. As always, pleasure, and I will look forward to playing more with you in the near future. Moving right on up the line, of course, last but certainly not least, of course, we have Pyron Jade. Pyron, pleasure as always. Thank you so much. Great work today with Greta. And where can the fine people find you next?
I really hope that I'm going to do a belated release stream of Trails of Cold Steel on Saturday here on GOG.com. I usually don't do stuff on my own channel, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, I sometimes say things on there. That's what I do.
I sometimes say things that people read.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Well, thank you. Thank you all so much. That I love. It warms the cockles of my heart. DMs are made much better when they have good players. So thank you, but I appreciate the kind sentiment. As always, I am fortunate because I have 3 campaigns that I'm running online, all of which have the best players, no joke. I'm really lucky to have them, and this is no exception. So always a pleasure, folks. Pyron, Darksaber, Mike, and Chai, thank you guys so much. I will see you all for our next session, and next month is in 3 days, so I'll see you in for our next session sooner than we all think. But thank you all so much. Chat, can we get some love for the players? Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for keeping the surprise, Chai, and I will see all of you wonderful people soon. Thanks, everyone. There we go. All right, good stuff. That was awesome, guys. I was glad to be able to that's my second surprise of fooling people by bringing in a new player. But I didn't have to do it through Skype, which means that I win. But it's always a pleasure to be able to have, there we go. Always a pleasure to be able to have people who are having fun with each other. Chemistry is a big thing, and so it was great to be able to see them do that as well. I got to rise up on out of here, though, because I got to give way to Chrono Wolf. Chrono Wolf is playing today... what the devil is he playing? Yes, Full Throttle. Oh, nice. So he's playing Full Throttle Remastered. You definitely have to stick up for that as well. Also, Chrono also has an announcement to make. I actually know about this announcement, so I won't spoil it for him, but you definitely want to stick around so you folks can hear it from him. But it has been a great pleasure hanging out with all of you as always. If you like what you saw and heard today, I want to remind everybody about the ways to support the channel here. Make sure that you follow GOG. Make sure that if you haven't done so already, that you consider subscribing to GOG as well. It supports the streamers, also supports the channel, of course, and is a good way for you to get some awesome emotes and things like that. So definitely do that because that would be good times for you. And definitely check us out individually on our own channels as well. We have all of us individual channels, many of us, most of us, individual channels where we have our own streams, do our own stuff, have our own Patreons and subsystems and stuff like that. I will be back on Friday. I haven't finished up the schedule yet. Probably be doing a creative writing stream during the day on Friday, and then Friday night I haven't decided, but pretty soon I'm going to have the stuff set up because we have a lot of things that we role play over there. My new Esper Genesis campaign, which is a sponsored campaign, Adventures of Middle-earth next Tuesday, D&D with Infinity and Beyond. They're doing the Rise of Tiamat, more D&D with these wonderful people back here. So that's the thing with that on other channels. As for Pen and Pixels, this show, I will be back next week with Divinity Original Sin 2, which will be coming to you next week as well. So a lot of stuff happening as we go forward. But thanks, everybody. You guys are the best. Oh, thanks, Sparkly. Wow, man. He's real good, though. But thank you all so much. It's been a great pleasure, as always, to be your Dungeon Master and Master of Ceremonies for today. You guys are great, and stick around now for the equally great Chrono Wolf, who is going to be hitting you with his Night Howl show and Full Throttle Remastered. But that's it. Thanks, everybody. Happy to get a new player into the mix. Thanks to my players, and thanks to you. I'll see you all either on my channel later in the week or on this channel a week from today. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Be good to each other. I can say that. Have a good night.